All right, we are recording. Welcome everyone to part two. Level two, part two of the Anahat meditation system. I think you should know by now if you're going through the training with me. My name is Matthew Brownstein. If you don't know my name, you really shouldn't be in this recording. This is a much more advanced level that we're in right now, level two, part two. So if you're watching this recording, you haven't been moving through the entire training, then just hear what I'm going to say now, then to stop the recording and go to onlinemonastery.com and listen to the introductory recording, and then listen to the full introduction. Is 2.5 hours. If you're really enjoying the teachings and you want to be reading my books, the Sacred Geometry Meditation and the Anahat Meditation System, and then going through all the workbook lessons and audio lessons on the onlinemonastery.com website. The AC just shut off, so hopefully it'll give you guys better audio quality. So yeah, we're moving into part two today. I never quite know as I pace my life and the way energy is flowing, but we can move on. If you don't feel ready to move on because you're not able to practice this level yet, that's okay. Somebody said in the chat pod that she's not able to move really past level one, past the structure meditation, and that's fine. Remember, this system is really meant to be learned over 2 years, like 1 month per meditation. So you should have ideally spent an entire year with level one before I start to move to level two. And then we have a good question. I'm going to read it exactly. We decided not to do a lot of Q&A before the lesson, but this one is very relevant to help you to understand where we're at with this. So I'm going to jump right in with that type of stuff and then maybe do a little announcements or whatever. There's cool stuff unfolding, but mostly my job is to get all this stuff done, recorded, so it's there forever. So thank you, YouTube. Okay. Oh, I didn't see that one. I missed one question before class started. Maybe we can come back to it, but this one is definitely relevant for understanding what we're moving into. The question is, can you provide further explanation to the concept of concentration versus contemplation as mentioned in the previous class? My interpretation of it was that in level two meditations, we are shifting from focused consciousness, concentration, into witnessing consciousness, contemplation. Is this correct? If so, this was exactly what I was looking for in levels one meditations. Okay, yeah, very much so. You know, there's semantics, which is what we mean by words. So concentration versus contemplation and the idea of witnessing. So yeah, level one, we're definitely developing sanyam, concentrated power, but we never let that go until we're in the deepest levels of samadhi. And even as you're practicing those, which we all are, if you're even tapping into that, then it is still a practice. I don't know any human being who's walking around in nirvikalpa samadhi all the time. But once you find it and you meditate on it for years, then it becomes a very regular state and not a hard state to tap back into when you need to, but it still requires concentration, or we'll say sanyam. Because samadhi implies having sanyam, dharana, dhyan, samadhi, those three things where we're concentrating, dhyan, we're meditating on something, which means we're becoming very intimate with it, and then samadhi, we merge completely into it where we lose our sense of self. So remember the goal from all of this practice as we get into body travel and whatnot, is God, is self-realization, is enlightenment. Everything else is a means to the end. So remember, all of these geometries, and in level two, it gets pretty complex, but it's not really about figuring out, God, is it an octahedron? Is it a icosahedron? Do I know how to pronounce that? Is it a star tetrahedron? It's actually all of it, depending on just how you look at things, right? If you look at Metatron's cube, you will see all 5 Platonic solids in it. It's kind of up to you how you contemplate that grid, but contemplation does involve concentration. All right, so level one, we're really focusing on the energy grids, and it's very much on the physical level. As we start shifting to level two, when we're focusing more on the etheric grids, then we are contemplating what's there. But when we do level one, we're also contemplating what's there. All right, when you inhale, let's say the breath moves up to the lungs. When we go up the descending triangle, right, in meditation 7, the starry verse, we breathe up to the lungs. All right, just as an example. But so don't worry about the technical details there. Just a breath that moves energy up into the region of the lungs and shoulders. Now, you might contemplate, why are the lungs the way they are, right? Why is the heart right in the very center of that? The kind of question of why are the kidneys at the base of the descending triangle? Why are the tops of the lungs at the top of the ascending triangle? Why is the heart in the center of that? Contemplating where organ systems are, why bones look the way they do. From any perspective, an evolutionary perspective, or the idea of spirit manifesting the human form, right? That the body, especially the human body, can't just be there by accident. This weekend, I was telling everybody before we started, we're doing a photo shoot in the Beverly Hills, LA area. It was really fun. So there should be nice pictures coming out. I have some stories, like interesting what's happening of being led to that area. But I was talking with, there's a whole bunch of thoughts for you there. There's too many thoughts. I'm going to let that go for now and just stay on track with the idea of what we're focusing on. So while we're breathing into the grids of level 1, very physical, concentrating, and in some sense contemplating, right? That you can be with, well, why is this here? Why did this? And okay, I know what I was going to say, and I'll go there. I was talking to my new PR person and trying to help her to grasp what the Anahat system is all about, because she hasn't even watched any of the videos at all. And how do you promote, how do you help someone to get out the message out there when you don't understand the message really? So we're talking about that, and I showed her God's name as the Tetragrammaton vertically, Yod, He, Wah, He, which looks like, as I think you know now, a human form. And then I showed her the squared circle and how the earth is the inner circle and the moon is the smaller top circle, and how they're the same size to 99% accuracy. And she said, well, why is that? And I said, that's why you need to read the book, right? That's what I spent 11 years researching and writing this book. So when you're doing the meditation system, you are contemplating all the time. If you want to, you can concentrate just on the hara, but you could say, what is my hara? Or why is that part of my body important? How does it relate to my second chakra? Is it my second chakra? I spent, decades contemplating the different levels of reality, like contemplating the physical plane. What is this thing? Contemplating the etheric plane. And then not just contemplating it, but when you concentrate on it, you start to move into it. So level 2, we are concentrating on the geometric grids, but we are contemplating them as well, right? To say, what's the deal with this descending? Kind of like, what's the deal? It's the mystical way of saying contemplation. What's the deal with the descending tetrahedron? Why is it there? Where does it start? Where does it end? Right? How does the very base go down to the sexual energy? Like how does that work when it's not quite physical, but it's touching upon the physical and what's happening there in the region of the sexual energy? I can give you my insights, but the meditation system is about you contemplating those different areas, right? So does the descending tetrahedron just begin at this level, or is it this huge vortex of energy coming down into you, right? And then who is the you? Is you the body? Are you the grids? Or, as the questioner asked, focused consciousness concentration into witnessing consciousness contemplation. I would define witnessing consciousness transcendent, which is an accurate word there, to everything we've been talking about so far. So yes, we can concentrate on level 1, the body and the energy grids. And the energy grids largely in 2 dimensions, right? A triangle instead of a tetrahedron. Level 2, we're focusing on the 3-dimensional grids, so that obviously puts us into 3 dimensions, but really beyond that into the etheric plane, which I don't want to say is the 4th dimension, which they like to say is time, but that's just somebody decided the 4th dimension is time or whatever. That's just a human construct. So as you're putting your attention on the etheric plane, you can concentrate on the energy grids of the etheric body, including the acupuncture meridians, the chakras, and definitely those sacred geometries. Now, as we go deeper, we haven't had a class on the idea of witness consciousness yet. I've alluded to certainly that, of course, you are spirit. So you as spirit are the observer. You're the consciousness. So a very important thing to contemplate as we're moving along who is the you, right? The whole thing is about enlightenment. The grids are just a means to get us there, and they have a lot of benefit in bringing health and, anything. If, again, I was talking to my new PR person, and she can grasp meditation as most people do, like mindfulness, reducing stress. And she's asked me those kind of questions. I'm like, look, I know there's a major communication gap at this point for somebody who hasn't been through the system, who's working to promote it. But I'm wanting to help her to know, when I'm in the state of samadhi, when the meditation is so deep, of course my blood pressure lowers. Of course I'm at peace. Of course it brings health to the body. There's so many benefits. But people get into meditation for the benefits. You guys at this stage really want to forget about the benefits. Just engage the practice, focusing on the highest. Right? As you start getting out of your body, you're going to want to focus only on God. If you focus on lower levels, you end up dwelling on the lower levels. So eventually, we'll most likely do an entire class or a lot of time in a class on the idea of witness consciousness, of who are you really? Because you're the one observing the grids. So you want to contemplate, who are you? Contemplate the grids on the etheric level and on the physical level. Okay, so it's concentration, contemplation, and you can contemplate or concentrate on the witness itself, the observer, because there's consciousness, and then, I'm not going to do every level, but consciousness, mind, and then that manifests down to the emotional or astral level. That manifests down to the etheric level, which is where the meridians and chakras essentially are. And the energy grids become a lot easier to grasp at that level. And then it comes down to your physical body. So you want to concentrate on each level. But as you get closer and closer, moving up the chakra system, closer to spirit in its essence, you're concentrating on the more subtle levels. As you get closer, you're contemplating the higher levels. Because again, somebody emailed me this week saying, is it an octahedron in the heart that we're supposed to focus on? You want to focus on the grids of that area, right? So sometimes, and that's concentration. So sometimes it's like, oh, I can sense the star tetrahedron in my heart. Other times, like, oh, I can sense the octahedron in my heart. Again, the icosahedron and dodecahedron are too complex, and the hexahedron, being a square or cube, I associate more with the first chakra. So even though, yes, you can find it in the heart region as well. Okay, so you're contemplating and concentrating in each level. When we get to witness consciousness, you're concentrating only on the highest level, which is you as spirits. All right, I'm not going to ask if that answered the question because we're going to move on, but thank you for the question. And let me just see the other thing that's here. Well, I'm going to address it real quick because it's easier than reading it silently. It says, since starting the level 2 meditation, I've had some weird dreams, one after the other day for 3 days straight. One of them was about spiders. I literally felt like I had them crawling all over me. Oh, that's level 5. No, I was kidding. It woke me up to make sure I didn't have anyone on me, and there was nothing on me. Not sure if this is just part of the change. Okay, I can't, I'll just address it briefly. I don't know. When you move a lot of energy, which you're doing, and you're shifting your consciousness from physical to more etheric, you're gonna have interesting sensations occur in the body. I would suspect there would be dreams, like lucid dreaming and even glimpses of out-of-body travel or little glimpses of the astral plane, just where it's like visions, and it's really hard to, let me try to find the English word for the shift that occurs. It's like you're starting to glimpse into the etheric plane, and it's so hard to use English words to say, what is it like when, like right now when I close my eyes, I'm aware of the physical, but I'm aware of the etheric. Most people are not. Like my consciousness, especially as I've been training you in level 2, I've been putting my attention there more and more and more. And like the out-of-body experiences, they will become real for you guys. That kind of stuff will start happening. The vibrations, one of you emailed me, that you're tapping into. You're not far from the out-of-body experience when the vibrations are occurring. And we'll talk about those maybe next week. So I'm just going to say, yeah, you should be noticing strange occurrences. And I know when I was a kid, I don't know if the spider feeling relates to what I'm going to share. When I was about to get bar mitzvah, I was like 12 years old. In Judaism, we have to get bar mitzvah at 13, like Jesus. And so I remember a Jewish rabbi who was lecturing us, and there's a picture of Jesus. He's a boy. He's like, oh, that was Jesus before his bar mitzvah. This is Jesus was Jewish. So anyway, I remember while we're going to this Orthodox temple, and we're trying to get me bar mitzvah there, and the rabbi said, "You're not Jewish. You can't be here," because we're like, we're not serious practicing Jews in my family. So, but I remember being in there, feeling unworthy to be there. Actually, like to be unworthy to be in like divine presence. I didn't feel like I was pure enough, and I remember feeling really itchy. That's why I'm telling you that story. I felt itchy, kind of like maybe not what you felt, but like spiders crawling over me. It might relate, just a thought of as you're purifying energy meridians, it's going to hit the blacks that don't feel quite pure. And maybe that's to do with that. The whole idea, though, as we keep moving on for all of this, is just put both eyes on God. When you get out of your body, just focus on God. Have a trigger phrase, and I'll give you that hint now. We have a target destination when we get out of our body. And the target destination should just be God. You can go to a person, that's better than trying to go to a place, but you're still wasting your time. You're always better off putting both eyes on God, always. Like that's all that matters. You'll naturally start moving through all these levels. So remember, as we're doing the meditation system, the goal is enlightenment, self-realization, God realization. Everything will happen naturally on its own, and there'll be a purification process, and it's not always comfortable. All right. I hope that helped in that question. Let's jump into the material, and then we'll definitely do official Q&A at the end. Yep. Just a sec. All right, I should do that. I'll try to keep that as big as possible. Okay, Anahat meditation lessons workbook and audio recordings. I had to throw this together today because it was a busy weekend. So I hope there are no mistakes. Hopefully we'll catch them now. Okay, so remember we did meditation level 1, meditations 1 through 12. That takes us all the way around here from 1 to 12. And then now we've gone through 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, ending with the star, the 6-pointed star. Now we'll do the star reversed energetics, or the energetics of the star reversed, however you want to say that. I'm aware that there's a inconsistency in the name in different places. So it'd be the energetics of the star reversed, or just the star reversed energetics. Then upper body meridian energetics, lower body meridian energetics, wing energetics, which is really enjoyable for me. It's just fun to contemplate and concentrate on. So it really is concentration and contemplation through the whole system. The integration meditation and structure. And all of these have their level 2 etheric awareness as well. So lesson 10, meditations 19 through 24. Assuming we get through all this today, which we should, then you guys will officially be initiated into level 1 and 2. And if you're interested, you'll practice for years. Don't think you have to be good at it at this point at all. Copyright again, like I always say, don't jump into these recordings until you're ready, meaning start from the beginning and move through one video at a time in the proper order. And please don't teach this, even if you get through level 2, until you're officially certified with level 4. What it'll be is we're getting closer to that with this group, and there'll be a whole new round of that happening, and kind of like the official first round of that happening. I've been contemplating it more and more as we get closer to it, and it has to be an agreement that I have with any teacher at this stage while I'm still alive to say, like, this is how we're going to do it, and you got to do it that way. So I really encourage you not to teach this until you've officially gone through a certified teacher process with me or with a certified teacher who's qualified to teach this beyond me. All right, then We have Metatrons cube in the body, same thing that was there last time, just the review. So remember, we're looking at the lines themselves, not the body, right? So when we do descending meditation, the descending tetrahedron for part 2 is what you're focusing on, visualizing those lines. But then that's concentration, right? I'm aware of the lines, I'm focused on them, I'm thinking about where they, but like with it, I'm contemplating it. Where's the energy going? Why does it pull up in the area of the hara? Right, as it comes down, does it move through the heart? It does. What is it doing when it moves through the heart? Again, I can give you a lot of these answers because I've been meditating on this for quite a while now. But you guys are meant to do that yourself, right? So as you're focused on this area, see if you can see the octahedron shape from the chin to the navel, right? You can see there's a diamond shape in there. And there's also a 6-pointed star or star tetrahedron in there. And if you're really going to try to look closely, there would be an icosahedron, a dodecahedron, and technically you can see the hexahedron in there. So you're meditating in that area, and you're really just like focusing like a physician, a scientist who wants anatomy scientist who wants to understand the human body. All right, you open up, cadavers. I skipped cadaver class in Chinese medical school. You open up the rib cage and you're looking at the heart there. You are concentrating on it, right? The physical heart. You can actually look at the thing and put your attention on it, but you contemplate it. It's 4 chambers. It's a big muscle thing. You're just getting to know what's there, right? And you can do that. You can focus on your physical heart while you're meditating. We've talked about that before. We were here, though. Lub-dub, lub-dub, lub-dub. And it's creepy. I think we've talked about this. If you just focus on that in meditation, it's like, there's that thing right there, and it keeps beating. If it ever stopped beating, that would be an interesting experience. So you can contemplate on that. You can feel how you feel about that. Then you can shift your awareness up a notch. You tune the radio dial to focus on the etheric level. So what's happening at your heart on the etheric level? That's the point right in the very center there. And again, depending on how you look at it now, I just saw a hexahedron when I looked there, not necessarily just a bunch of lines converging. All right, so you're contemplating what's going on there. Like, why is the head a sphere, and why is this sphere at the nipples the same exact size? And why is the sphere from navel to tailbone the same size as those? Right? And what's with all these spheres? So you're just putting your attention on what's there. You're not making it up. You think it's like guided imagery in this meditation system, but it's not. Just like I ask you to put your attention on your physical heart, you can do that. You can put your attention on your etheric level of your heart. You're just working, so that, remember, like self-realization is that you didn't create yourself. You're not your own creator. So you want to be fascinated with this idea of I exist. Who am I? What am I? I forget the name of the saint, but sometimes they say, oh no, it was a story about Shiva. The great yogi Shiva was in deep meditation. When he became self-realized, he just declared, what am I? Not as a question, but like, wow, look at what I am. You're an amazing reflection of divine consciousness on every level. You're a fractal. You're the part of God happening as you. And you're not a body. So what is this you? Getting to know you really, really well with no judgment, just being willing to see what's there. And I'm just saying this is what's there, but as you follow the subtle grids back, more and more subtle, you're gonna know you on every level. And the most subtle level of you is the witness, the observer, the knower, the consciousness itself. And that you is beyond all these grids. But one way to find that you and get a lot of benefit along the way is to follow the grids home. Okay, so, and then remember we have the wing shape we'll get into in this meditation. All right, I didn't put page numbers here. I didn't have time today. Maybe someday those will be there, but they're not now. So a lot of this is from last week. I took the readings from the Journals of Michael Devane or the Anahat Meditation System. I plugged them in here. Little review of the energetics and the 5 Platonic solids. And then you'll see the energetics of the star reversed, upper body meridian energetics, lower body meridian energetics, wing energetics, integration energetics, structuring energetics. And then I need to do the introductory talk on level 2, part 2. And today we'll do the guided session on levels 1 and 2 completely, ideally, which should happen today. All right, the introduction I gave you, so I don't think we need to revisit it here. Level when that AC stops, let's make that a little, come on, less. Yeah, just think about here in a star tetrahedron, you have all of those different Platonic solids, and it's just to contemplate. Remember, we have level 1, meditations 1 to 12. It took 8 lessons or more, but 8 official lessons to do that. And then we have level 2, energetic meditations. We did meditation lesson 9 last time, 13 to 18. Today we're doing 10, 19 to 24. We've touched upon samadhi for level 3. We will spend at least another class on samadhi because we need to talk about a non-samadhi, asmita samadhi, nirvikalpa, and the related stages even within nirvikalpa. We definitely need at least one class on astral projection. I've been thinking about the advanced sexual energy practices. I'm not going to demonstrate any of that on camera on YouTube, so we'll probably just talk it out. And then, yeah, cosmic consciousness. Okay, so anyway, we're getting closer to the end. Well, not the end, just the next phase of the work. I copy and pasted this from one of the versions of the Journals of Michael Devane, the book called The Anahat Meditation System. And I'm not even sure it's the edited version. So you can read that, of course, in the book. These dates are fictitious. As far as I know, they're not related to anything, just dates I picked as I was writing the book. So it's fiction. Nothing happened in 1805 as far as I know, total fiction. But the meditation system itself obviously isn't fiction. That's a practice embedded in that novel. Okay, so you can really read this all on your own, like usual. And it's again exactly from the book towards the end. And to be honest, when I was writing the book, I ran out of mystical experiences to share, and there were still more meditations to teach. So the book kind of peters out at the end where I'm like, I'm done with story, but I still have more meditations to deliver. So the end of the book, it probably gets a bit more dry because I just had to deliver the meditations. There were no more fun stories to talk about out of 400 pages. I'm like, that's about everything I've ever experienced up to that point. So, but that was back then. But anyway, it's towards the end of the book that you're seeing those. Just remember with the energetics that the circle is a sphere. And you want to contemplate that too, right? So we're so focused on tetrahedrons and all that, but there are spheres. There's a sphere of your heart, your head, right? There's spheres at your shoulders, all your chakras are spheres. And there's one significant sphere holding the space for from the tailbone to the crown, and the very center of that sphere is your heart. Remember, that means it's not just what's in front of you, you meaning, at the body level. There's the sphere that moves in front of you, but there's a sphere behind you as well. So start to really think 3D, because when you're out of your body, your vision is not necessarily limited to looking just forward. You can just look forward, but you could also just shift and say, all right, 360, and you'll see in every direction. Or you can rotate around and look through the back of your head before you leave your physical body. So really start to get a sense of spherical. I just thought of, as I'm a paraglider, and when we're flying, we always have to be looking around. They say you keep your head like on a pivot. You're always looking around, looking for other air traffic. So this whole idea that we're spherical, and if we ever do classes on movement, like I've alluded to, Tai Chi, Qigong, yoga, but the way I do it, the way it's evolved for me over the years with Anahat meditation, everything is like spherical, and your whole body should feel super loose and spherical, not like so rigid. Like you can be really loose and comfortable in your body. So the spheres are a real good way to tap into that. And even look at the Mahamudra symbol, your hand is holding a sphere, your hands hold a sphere of energy there at the hara. Okay, so really focus on spheres, not just the straight. Remember, the straight lines of the grids, those are more masculine energies. The spheres are more feminine energies, and Anahat gives you a balance of both, because you have a balance of both. You have both within you as you. Most people don't unfold that. And that's actually a shame, because there's so much beauty in all of who you are. Okay, the 5 Platonic solids, just as a review: tetrahedron, So we have the base, let's say, of the ascending tetrahedron going up to the crown, and then you flip that over, and we've got that same structure at the shoulder level going down to the tailbone. The cube, again, I relate more to Earth. I don't really contemplate the first chakra at the tailbone, but you don't have to visualize it there. It's just more of a sacred geometrical symbol for Earth. And then the octahedron, the diamond shape of this can relate, pretty safely to when you're meditating out. The numbers are upper body meridians. I don't think about the numbers when I meditate, right? That's just for teaching purposes. So there are where your arms go. Let's show you. Let's do ours, trying to explain. Here, armpit, and then the hip region, and then there's the curve of the elbow there. So there's kind of like and then, my body, I'm not fat there in those pictures, but if I was crazy skinny, you might see that cut in even a little bit more. So it's kind of a diamond shape here. And the diamond shape in 3D is the octahedron. So you kind of have that going on here, and you can feel that under the armpits and the arms while you're meditating on upper body meridian energetics. Okay, so octahedrons are all over the place, but again, it's not that you focus only on them. You're contemplating and asking yourself, what's there, right? What's going on? Like focus at your tailbone and your sacrum. That's a descending triangle structure, right? So why does it look like that down there? Again, it's your job to contemplate and have your own revelations about this stuff. Icosahedron and dodecahedron, they're too complex to meditate on, but I like just kind of like the feel. I might think the word. I'll be like, okay, dodecahedron, and then just kind of feel, how is one of those in the rib cage area, right? Or go up to the head, there'll be one of those in the region of the head. And they're all over the place because, again, the structures are inside of everything. Okay, and there's not too much to say here that I haven't said already. But, hopefully, again, just start thinking of that in 3 dimensions. All right, so when you see this descending triangle, where's its other point? You obviously have 1 point, 2 points, but where's the third upper point? Is it more in front of you at the moment? Is it more behind you at the moment? Can you rotate it? And eventually we can talk about rotating the grids, but not yet. Okay, meditation number 19. The energetics of the star reversed or star reversed energetics. To get into that, just like the other training manual, we have the information for level 1, and then we notch up to vibrate at a higher level up to meditation 19. So meditation 7, the star reversed. Locations of both ascending and descending triangles are represented as before. However, this time the energy flows in the opposite direction than it does in meditation number 6. Energy moves in the ascending triangle from the crown to the kidneys, right? So remember, up and then down, covering all of the internal organs in its region. Energy moves in the descending triangle from the sexual organs to, let me get 100% on that. I had another thought going. Energy moves in the descending triangle from the sexual organs to the lungs. Okay. So from the sexual organs, energy is going up the descending triangle, covering all the internal organs of its region, including the heart and the lungs. The line in the middle of the symbol represents the microcosmic orbit containing both the front and back central channels. Energy moves up the back from the sexual organs to the crown, and down the front from the crown to the sexual organs. All right, so we know energy can go up the ascending triangle or down the descending triangle. It can go down the descending triangle or up the descending triangle, right? So hopefully I said that right for all of them. And then we have the microcosmic orbit, usually up the back and down the front, but the Ren meridian is the one that goes up the front, called the conception vessel, from the tailbone to the upper lip. That meridian actually runs up, but in meditation, like we're seeing, energy can go up or down. Part of why, and I'm glad to see at least one of you reported really starting to feel the vibrations that come before an out-of-body experience, because I don't know how I know, although I kind of guess I know, how I know how to leave my body. Why is that so easy and natural for me? Why was it happening in my 20s without really any training? Like you guys are getting real formal training. It's because on some level I knew all this stuff before, and I sincerely believe that. So what I've been doing for years without really even knowing it, until I started really studying this a lot, is energy moves up and down the grids. And you'll feel that before an out-of-body experience. The vibrations will rush down into you. You'll feel like bzz, 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 pulsing down and in, and then you'll feel them moving up. And it's when the vibrations are vibrating at a high enough frequency, and we'll talk about that more later, there's a certain state, I call it a solid state of vibration, where it's not really moving up or down. It's just the whole system is there. Now, you might think, oh, I'm feeling vibration, but everything is vibration. So when I say the vibrations, it's an unmistakable, it's not even a feeling, it's an energetic state where you'll be able to pop right out of your body. It just takes a little bit of practice once they're there. It's really hard to get them there, but they start with ascending and descending flows. And you'll know it because you can almost hear them. It's like being plugged into an electric socket and you're like, there's no way to give you this sound because it's internal, but it's very unique. It's really unmistakable. If you're wondering if you've had it, you probably hadn't. So you'll hear it internally and it's connected to your breath. And as you've been learning to move energy in these grids, when the vibrations are strong enough, you'll kind of catch them with the breath. And by holding the breath in Kumbhak Pranayam, holding the breath basically, we intensify and spread the energy so it fills the whole body but goes outside beyond the body. So the energy grids or the etheric body is kind of like everything's lighting up. And then you as consciousness move forward into the etheric grid and then you leave. So anyway, that's more advanced, obviously. Yet this meditation we're getting into now is going to help all of the meditations, especially the integration meditation where we just breathe up and breathe down. But obviously more than just that. We are preparing the energy grids to vibrate at the level where we can leave the body. And that's not the goal of the whole practice, but it's pretty darn close to the goal. If you get the vibrational state, and you leave your body and you focus only on God, there aren't that many more stages to focus on. It's really a profound place to get to. And again, like I can see now, taking you guys through this and having done this now for so long, this is leading you to that. Yeah, again, I don't know if a more profound way or I'd be teaching that. Okay, so that was just an overview, kind of a reminder. Let me just talk through and we'll do it on the cushion soon. Star reversed. Quite often for me, I start breathing up to the head. And then once the energy is there, I exhale down the ascending triangle. Inhale down the front central channel. Exhale up the descending triangle. And then inhale up the back central channel to the head. And then just keep repeating that. So I'm not going to teach that whole thing again, but essentially we are. When we go to meditation 19 now, energy acts with the star reversed. We're doing the same thing. We're just focusing on 3 dimensions. And again, don't do exactly what I tell you to do, meaning like the line for the back must be at a certain place. Well, you might find that line, like for instance, think about this tetrahedron, and you're going to have 2 lines coming down, but you'll have a 3rd line, right? Because the tetrahedron is that line in front of you, or is that line behind you? Or is it both, actually? Then that would be an octahedron if you were to consider having 4 lines. So this is a way to start working with it, but the mysteries of the geometries are way beyond what anybody could verbalize, because it's very hard to talk about this right now. If I had super good graphics on the screen, it would help. So anyway, don't get too caught up in exact anatomical location here, because we're not talking about the body anymore. When we talk about the descending tetrahedron, it doesn't start at your shoulders. It's just your body is starting to manifest at that level of the descending energy. But the descending energy is way beyond, remember, again, vortex, not bound by body. You're not bound by body. Okay, so This meditation right now, we're starting, it doesn't really matter where you start. You just kind of get into it. Inhale up the back central channel from the region of the descending lower tetrahedron to the ascending upper tetrahedron. Okay, so if we were doing the 6-pointed star meditation, right, meditation 6 before we go to 7, or 18 before we go to 19, we're in the hara, or we're in the descending lower tetrahedron. So once you're there, if you were starting where it starts here, but again, you could do it from anywhere, you just got to get your attention pretty much back to the crown. So here, we're inhaling up the back central channel, but as a tetrahedron, that would be the back line of force of that descending tetrahedron. So we're going to breathe up that to the head. Once we're there, we're in the ascending upper tetrahedron. And you just want to kind of contemplate that area. And remember, that is 3 lines, 2 down to the shoulders, but there's another one. Is it going down in the front, or is it going down in the back? And there's really no right or wrong, but you'll notice, remember, T2, thoracic vertebrae 2, which you can feel is the kind of largest one sticking out there. That's represented on the back. So we have like 2 points in the front shoulder, but that triangle, that tetrahedron, is going to be much wider than that part of your body. And again, it's not bound to your body. Okay, so just again, kind of try to feel out, visualize where these are. Exhale down. So we breathed up to here. Now we're going to exhale down the ascending tetrahedron to the region of the kidneys and hara. And it's just an exhale down that spreads out kind of in all directions. And if it helps, you could feel these are more like cones. So we haven't really talked about the geometry of a cone yet. But if you could simply imagine an ice cream cone, it's a circle going up to a point. As you exhale down, it's fine to do that. Don't get so concerned about 3 points at the bottom of a descending outpouring of energy, right? When God says, let there be light, that's a cone, if you will, but not only a cone, because that's too limited. But you can imagine this outpouring like the Big Bang. It doesn't have 3 points that it's trying to get to. It's just this constant expansion. But this conscious, constant expansion down is manifesting your body. Right? So just be with that as you feel it go down to the level of the kidneys and heart. Inhale down the front channel, front central channel, from the region of the ascending upper tetrahedron. Right? So we were up here still. Even though the energy went down, we're still very much up here, but then we inhale down the front all the way back to the hara, or the descending lower tetrahedron. Again, it's complex to explain, but in practice, it's actually, for me anyway, relatively simple. It's nowhere near as heady or wordy. It's just, you'll know the meditation so well over time. You just inhale to the head. There's that triangle, the tetrahedron. We exhale down. We inhale, we pull it down the front, back to the hara, but I'm visualizing the tetrahedron down there from kidneys to tailbone. And then from there, we exhale up the descending tetrahedron from the region of the descending lower tetrahedron to the clavicle, thoracic vertebrae 2 area, right, basically up to the shoulders. So imagine a cone, and you exhale from tailbone up that cone. But also be aware that there's a tetrahedron, which means it does have 3 points. And again, there's 2 points very much on the shoulder, but is that other point in front at that moment, or is it behind? It doesn't really matter, because we breathe up and fill the whole upper area. And then it just keeps repeating, up the back to the head, head down to the kidneys, inhale down the front central channel to the hara region, exhale up to the shoulders. So I can say, hara, head, heart, shoulders, all those words, but really I'm saying things like tetrahedron, or if I say heart, I mean heart chakra. If I say third eye, I'm actually saying ajna chakra, the 6th chakra. So everything on this level you should sense is the etheric grid, even if I refer to physical structure. Because what you'll be doing over time, and I've given you the warnings about doing this, you'll be pulling your attention out of your physical body. Again, the veils between this level and the more subtle levels will start to drop. And you'll be aware that, just on this level we're at now, that yeah, you're walking the physical plane, but you're also in the etheric. I remember when I was in college and I started learning a lot of, not this stuff, I don't want to mislead you, my early religious philosophy studies, I did start tapping into the idea that everything is energy. And in my meditations, my Zen meditations, where I meditate with eyes open, I was starting to see the floor moving. It was like everything was vibrating energy, and it wasn't solid. And I became more and more aware as I meditated for a good year very intensely that everything is energy. And I remember working at Eckert Drugs at the time, and I had a night shift and nobody was there, and I was just sitting there waiting for a customer. And this only lasts for like a month or two. I never get those kind of jobs. But anyway, I was sitting there meditating, and I'm looking around. I'm like, it's all energy. It's all energy. There's really nothing but God. There's really nothing but God. And then the customer would come up. I'm like, wow, there's nothing but God. Oh, hello. Like, how can I be of service? There's nothing but God. You're God. I'm God. We're all God. There's nothing but God. It's most, you don't walk up to the average cashier who's feeling that way about you, who's immersed in this mystical ecstasy, feeling the oneness consciousness that's all around. But again, that's like what I dedicate my life to. So if you do this meditation, even though it's complicated, it's forcing you to put your attention on the energy that's here now, and that's going to not just give you interesting visualizations, it's going to shift your consciousness to be focusing more on the etheric. I pulled up the Meher Baba graphic. Yay, Meher Baba. I think, let me be positive you're seeing that now. I think you are, but let's go back and do it this way. Okay, you should be seeing that now. So remember, the goal is God. To get to the highest, we put our attention on the highest. But to start in that direction from you who's on your knees saying, please, there's got to be something more than just this humanness. I need to know there's got to be something more. Now we're focusing on the more subtle planes. We're moving in that direction. But, somebody who never really did that in this lifetime might be misled to say, okay, after you die, you might get lucky and go to heaven. It doesn't work that way. If you're one of these humans somewhere in this reincarnation chain and you think you're human, you're going to reincarnate as human. Every time the body dies, you move on basically to who you think you are. If you think you are God, meaning, not like the I'm Jesus kind of, if you not just think, not just believe, if you know you are pure spirit, then you have access to go fully there. You can put your attention on pure spirit. But most people have no idea what that even means. And like I said, we haven't really done a class on witness consciousness meditation yet, on meditating on the knower, meditating on the absolute. There's a lot of benefit to that, and we could have just taught that right away from the beginning. But this is its own meditation system, which is more than just that, but it would include that. So anyway, you can meditate on the highest, and you should. But the Anahat system is naturally causing you to go up the ascending triangle, up the chakra system, and you have to start doing that now in this lifetime to start to create your future. Your thoughts create your future. And if I say, I am unworthy, I start creating a future of unworthiness. If I say I'm worthy and deserving of goodness and grace, I create a future of that. If I say I am an etheric being, I am not a body, I'm an etheric body, I fly around in the etheric plane, then that's where I'm going to spend my time when I leave my body. You're not trapped there. The Christians kind of make you feel like you're there forever. You're not anywhere forever. You go where you put your attention. If you put your attention on angelic realms, which we're going to do today, then you're going to go there. Especially if you start honoring, I am an angel, right? Like, just shift that idea. Who are you? Are you a dog? This is why it's like, do you go backwards in evolution? Not to say dogs are less evolved, because some people don't like that. And I'm not saying they are, but you don't, okay, the AC shut off. You don't digress. You don't regress. You don't go backwards in evolution. Evolution, life is always moving forward, and so are you. What you're doing with meditation is you're speeding up the evolutionary process. You're collapsing time. Eventually, you're going to bump back into God again, but that could take millions of years. Literally, A Course in Miracles says it could take millions of years for the complete atonement when all of us go back to God. But those of us who are here now, who are serious about this and like really wanting this, not serious in an unplayful way, but like serious about like, I want God, then we start putting our attention there. And then in conversations with God, Neil Donald Walsh says, is life a school? Aren't we here on earth as a school to learn things? And God said, nope. He goes, well, what do you mean? I thought we're here to learn something. Everybody says we're here for learning. And God says, nope. And he goes, well, what is it then? And the God voice says, when I created you, I told you everything you needed to know. I didn't withhold anything. So to think that there's lack, learning is lack. And if you think you're lacking something, then you have to learn, but you're not lacking anything. I told you everything you needed to know when you were created. Nothing was withheld from you. And then Neil Donald Walsh says, then what is it? He said, you're here to recreate yourself in the highest way possible, the highest way you can conceive of, the highest way you can conceive of. You can't create or step into something beyond what you can conceive of, right? You might imagine, which you can't imagine, I can't imagine, that's my point. Like there are angelic ideas, angelic realms, levels of beings that function in ways beyond your comprehension. Just like an ant or a chipmunk or a squirrel, when you're out hiking and you see these cute little beings, they can't grasp what your life is like. They don't know what it's like to drive a car, fly in an airplane. They can't grasp it. You would like to think, right? There are beings beyond us, and there are. When people are looking for aliens on the physical plane, fine, whatever, but they're still doing physical. I think a lot of the alien phenomena, by the way, is etheric astral beings, like beings who can manifest into the physical. I think that's a plausible, I'm not saying I know, but I think that's a plausible explanation that the gray aliens aren't necessarily physical, but maybe, just maybe, I don't know, they can manifest physically. But so are you. You're an etheric being who's manifested physically. You just got so caught up in the physical, you forgot about the subtle levels. And technically in the evolutionary model on the screen here, the transmigration model, you really never were a self-conscious being who could contemplate the higher levels, concentrate on the higher levels, put your attention on the higher and the highest levels, and consciously recreate yourself on these higher levels. So meaning when you get out of your body, and you don't have to be out of your body to do this because your mind exists all the time. But if it helps you to imagine out of your body, who are you? It's not that by default your astral body is going to look like everybody else's astral body. Your astral body reflects your thoughts. If you say, I'm angry and I'm going to kill people and I hate people and can you imagine what your astral body would look like? I don't even want to go there. It's like hellish. It's demonic. It's like dark, horrible dark energies, and there's people walking around doing this stuff all the time. You're putting your attention on love, light, peace, service to others, compassionate service, an angelic being. Today we'll focus on the wings. Like, who are you? Angel, right? Or if you remember on the Anahat website, there's the idea of Adam Kadmon. Adam meaning like God's creation, but Adam, that's like, in the Bible, you hear about Adam as a human being. But God is not a human being, and you're created in the image and likeness of God. So God is spirit, you are spirit. The divine idea of you is called Adam Kadmon. So in the masculine, you'd say, I am Adam. In the female, you'd say, I'm a Adama. So when you're out of your body, when you're communing with God, right, where you're being very connected with God, in the body or out of the body, like always, you never stop communing with God. Prayer doesn't happen for 10 minutes a day. There's an island off the coast of Greece called Mount Athos. And I was going to move there, honestly. It's Greek Orthodox, and that's not my path. So that was one reason not to go. But they've been doing that for about 1,000 years. Only male monks, women aren't allowed. Sorry, not my rules. But There are only monasteries on this island, and the monks just, they are their whole life. It's just monastic. And there's a reporter who went and interviewed one of these beautiful monks, and they asked him, like, when do you pray? What is your schedule like? And he laughed, and they said, why are you laughing? He goes, I laugh because you think I only pray, periods of time each day. I pray all the time. It may have been a little ego trip on the part of that monk, but I'm not here to judge. But I loved how he was saying, I meditate all the time. I pray all the time. It's ceaseless prayer in the body or out of the body. You're constantly and consciously recreating yourself at every given moment. So as you focus on level 2 and these energetic grids, and you're saying, who am I? I'm not a body. Am I the energy grids? And then when you get to wings, like, I've got wings. So now who am I? Angel. I am Adama. I am Adam. I am Adam Kadmon. I am the divine child of God. You're a son, daughter of God. And you're communing and being with God. This is so important. This is not a religion, but religion is all about what happens to you after you die. That's a huge part of religion. I'm suggesting this is a discussion about what happens to you after your body dies. Who you think you are will determine everything. So your identity is the biggest question in this whole process. You're contemplating, concentrating on your identity. And we're doing that from the bodily level all the way through the more subtle levels. Right now, we're focusing largely on these lower planes. But I really like you to consider as we get to this here, it's showing the 5th plane. Don't get too caught up in the numbers. But here, you as an angelic being, like when I leave my body, like that's what's there. And I'm going to very consciously, anytime out of the body, it's God. And who am I? Child of God. Right? Son, daughter of God. Angel. And then, sure, go to God. But then there's, like, I have a little prayer. It's thank you. I love you. How may I serve you? When you're out of your body, the highest, most important thing to think about is God. There's only God. That's your target destination. And come up with the trigger phrase now, like I was saying earlier. Focus on God. And I just use the word God. It's really easy. Unless I'm really connected to God, like is Krishna or Radha, then I'll focus on the divine name. So we can talk about the divine name later, because different aspects of God. Krishna is more masculine, Radha is more feminine. Al Shaddai is a name for God of the Lord of the Mountains. You can call out a divine name and tap into that aspect of God. Like the name Allah will have a different vibration than Christ. But to say these holy names when out of the body and when in the body, again, all the time. But if you do it all the time in meditation, you're in touch with God all the time when you're in your body. When you're out of your body, that's all you do is you put your attention on God. Anything else is just going to waste time, because on the way to God, you'll experience the other planes along the way anyway. There's no reason to focus only in those planes. But in the meditation system, we are gradually learning to go there. You need to learn to go there, because if you say, thank you, I love you. So the whole prayer on the journey back to God is, I love you. I love you. That's the ascent. Like, that's how you go. It's not just concentration. It's not just contemplation. It's devotion. Without devotional love of that, you don't really, your rocket ship is just not as well fueled. All right. So devotional love. Thank you, I love you. But then, how may I serve you? And if God's like, all right, go back to your body and write a book, you say, okay, go back to your body and heal people. Okay, because you have a part to play in the atonement, right? God's aware of his separated children, and he made a plan to help bring us all back, and you're part of that plan. This is, like a Judeo-Christian, but it's really like I'm speaking A Course in Miracles now, that God understands that you're caught up in suffering. God created a plan to help you to get back home. That plan requires the teachers. It's called the plan for the teachers of God. So even though your focus both is in God, you are going to come back to your body again. But if you come back divinized, sanctified as an angel, then you're here being of service. I have a name for this in Anahat, yet I don't throw it around that much, but this is probably the time to say it. I believe it's in the Journals of Micah Devane book. It's called the Anahat Order of Sacred Service. That's, I'm not sure we're ever going to implement that, because I just see monks in robes and, strange kind of rituals going on. It's not what I believe I'm all about or what I want us to be all about. But the idea of like, I'm a member, I'm a monk. So, you know, if you like the idea of online monastery, because you want to live in a monastery, but you can't because it's not your life calling, I like that I'm a monk of the Anahat Order of Sacred Service. I am a monastic. It doesn't look like Christian monasticism or Hindu monasticism, but I am a monk. It doesn't mean I'm never going to have sex again or that I don't enjoy my body. Obviously, there's sexual energy components in our system. Yet, the deepest level is I'm an angelic being here to be of service, and my attention is really only on God. And when my mission is done, I don't have any other reason really to be here. Right? There's nothing going on the physical plane that's worth my attention. In A Course in Miracles, you learn to separate the valuable from the valueless. During COVID-19 times, where all the stores are closed and you can barely get in different restaurants and all that stuff, you kind of like, I hope for a lot of you, it's disillusioning to say, you know, there was nothing really there anyway. All the external world stuff is not what an advanced meditator is about. Your happy place is in meditation. Your happy place is with God. It's not in the movie theater or in the restaurant, or you can do that stuff, but really, Ramakrishna told a great story in this. The mother turtle, when she comes up on shore and digs a hole to bury her eggs, she'll bury her eggs on shore and she'll tend to her eggs all the time. But she has to go into the ocean to find food and eventually give food to her babies. So the mother turtle goes into the ocean, swims around, and looks for food. But her mind is always on the babies. Even though she's in the world, in the ocean where she normally lives, her mind is always on her babies. The idea that Ramakrishna was conveying, I believe, is even when you're in the physical world thing, when you're doing a human body thing, you keep both eyes on God. So that's really what level 2 is about, is recreating yourself on the higher levels and in the highest way you can conceive of, and putting both eyes on God. The geometry grids are just a way to help to, well, they do a lot, right? But they shift your consciousness to the more subtle levels. Okay, I hope that helps to put things into perspective. I'm just gonna keep moving through the training manual, then we'll open up to sharing or Q&A later. Okay, so I explained meditation 19. We'll get on the cushion soon, and we'll do that. Let me take a drink. Meditation number 20, upper body meridian energetics. So remember the descending triangle, its upper points represent the shoulders. So you kind of see arms coming down here, kind of like the curve of, I know you can visualize this, but here we have the descending triangle. But remember, we have the larger descending triangle. The arms are really tracing along here a bit, the ascending triangle, but then you notice how notice how there's this triangle. Yeah, it's a diamond shape really that you're focusing on in here. So just kind of be aware of a diamond or three-dimensional and octahedron in that area, but don't be too neurotic about it, just kind of be with it. Okay, and then of course this works with a microcosmic orbit. So meditation 8, not sure why it starts here. Here the descending, I may have copied the wrong thing. Here the descending triangle does not actually represent the flow of energy in the body, but actually refers to the arms as being, just wondering why I copied this, as being, it's accurate, but it might not be the description for meditation number 8. Refers to the arms as being the two outer points of the triangle. Energy runs down the yin meridians and up the yang meridians of the arms. The line in the middle represents the traditional flow of the microcosmic orbit of the front and back central channels. All right, this isn't the exact description, I don't think, of upper body meridians, but don't worry, because we're moving into upper body meridian energetics, meditation 20, with the proper description, but I'll explain again, meditation 8. We breathe up the back central channel to the head. We exhale down the yin, the inner part of the arms. We inhale up the yang meridians, the outsides of the arms, simply stated. And then that goes to the head, and then we exhale from the head down to the hara. So again, up the back, down the arms, up the arms, down the front. Now we're doing that in 3 dimensions and contemplating what's going on there. And not just 3 dimensions. When you get to the arms, you're visualizing your etheric arms. And you're transferring your consciousness into those etheric arms. Okay, so you have physical arms, but just imagine outside, and even a little bit in front of, if you want, would be okay. Because when you leave your body, the etheric body will usually, I mean, it can go any direction, but it'll usually float up and out of the physical. And you transfer consciousness into that more subtle vehicle. So this meditation is forcing you to do that. By meditating on the meridians of the arms, we're naturally focusing on etheric arms and the geometries that go with it. So again, don't be, you can email me any questions, but if you say, well, and what do I focus on exactly in the arms? It's your job to contemplate what's there, to meditate on what's there. Okay, so the flow is inhale from the heart. Okay, yeah, that could say instead of hara, descending lower tetrahedron, but it's the hara region. But really meditation 20 is dealing with only, like here, you'll see at the bottom, descending lower tetrahedron. So we're inhaling from the descending lower tetrahedron area, the hara region. And the hara is not physical, obviously, right? That energy ball that's there is really your second chakra. So we could say you're inhaling from the second chakra, the descending lower tetrahedron area, up, inhale from hara to head, up the back central channel of the descending tetrahedron, and fill the ascending upper tetrahedron on the same breath. Okay, so inhale up the back, but remember we have in this descending triangle here, as a tetrahedron, you'd have a third point. And if you imagine that third point on the back, then there's this line is actually going up to the back of that tetrahedron. So inhale up a back line of force all the way up into the region of the head, which is the ascending upper tetrahedron. From here we exhale, it says here in the next bullet point, exhale from the head down the inside of the arms and outside of the torso in their diamond shape. Okay, so that gives you some hint that when we up to here, but we go down the arms, what's there when the hands are in Maha Mudra? But then change your arm position, right? And then it's not so much about the geometry as it is the energy grid of the arms themselves, the meridians of the arms themselves, which is really fun to start to contemplate. You think, oh, I have a let me show you. I know how powerful imagery is. Just a sec. I'm Googling Alex Grey. All right, so any of his work can help you to get a sense of this. All right, so like here's you when you're painting pictures. When you're doing, and there's, unseen, non-physical beings, when you're, which is very accurate. So when you're focusing on the etheric, I think Alex Grey nailed it the best. You're focusing on this, like here's, if this is you and your spouse and your child, then that's how you would see each other, not necessarily physically at all. So I would say this is a really good representation of what you're focusing on. If you're not familiar with Alex Grey's work, I would highly recommend just spend some time really being with this. When we do tantric practice and you're focusing, is that Obama? Okay, good, because you gotta be careful what you say these days. Fortunately it is. So there's Obama's, that's Obama's aura. Anyway, yeah, so in Tantra, you might be, when we get to Anahat level 3 and we start talking about advanced sexual energy practice and we talk about Tantra, when you join with somebody else, you would be focusing on this level. When you're out of your body and you have astral sex, you're focused on these more subtle levels. And then here's a nice one of like the soul leaving the body. But yeah, so and remember, this is actually interesting because this is the etheric body, right? Well, no, maybe it's the physical. But anyway, if this were the physical body, when you leave, you can leave in your etheric body, but you can leave your etheric body as well. And he does have one image. and probably more than one, that helps to allude to that. What was that one called? Here, theologue. Here, you see below the grid would be the physical body. Here is the meditation that we're on. We're on the etheric level. But above, and here you don't see a grid, at least I don't see a grid, I see light. It's what I call the astral light that, and I think others have, but you know, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, there's like, you're out of your body, you're not in the physical plane, you're on the etheric plane, but if you look up, more or less up, because up and down don't mean much when you're out of your body, but if you look up, to use that word loosely, then there's usually this big field of light, and if you move up into the light, you'll end up on the astral plane. So we're focusing now on the etheric plane. And I saw something here. So, you know, this is basically your etheric body, chakras and meridians. But it doesn't look like that. You don't look that creepy when we're out of the body. But here's the aura, right, or this toroidal shape. We haven't talked about the tube toroidal yet, but here, your core central channel. And then the way the energy branches out. I wonder if we type in Alice Gray wings and see what we get. I've never done that. There you go. See, I'm not the only wacko. So here, meditation 22, I believe it is, wings. The energy is coming up the center, and then the tube toroidal shape, it branches out as the heart shape, but you can really seriously contemplate wings here. So there you go. But this is transcendent too. So, you know, you might say like, here's the etheric, you know, the lower body, but then you rise up even higher into more subtle body. But that's honoring you more as angelic. Here you have these three faces, usually represent Brahm, Vishnu, Shiv. There's actually skulls in there. I don't know if that's Alice Gray. I guess Alice Gray's work. Very unique Alice Gray work. So anyway, worthy of contemplating, and yeah, why he has the three there. The idea of the Trinity is found in every tradition. And here, Brahm, Vishnu, Shiva, the creator, the preserver, the destroyer, or this transformer. Okay, anyway, I hope that's helpful for you for this level. Let's go back to the training manual. All right, so my imagery on the screen is not as good as Alex Gray. Right? If you take 10 years to make a great picture, you could do something better than what I got on the screen here. Okay, so I hope that's more exciting for you about what you're visualizing. So we're going inhale up the back, inhale from the heart to the head up the back central channel of the descending tetrahedron, filling the ascending tetrahedron on the same breath. So we inhale up the back to the head, then we exhale down, what are we in, upper body meridians, down the arms, and then back up the arms. But visualize those etheric arms with their meridians, and then the rest of, depending where your hands are, your arms in relationship to your body. And that's where you're going to start seeing those diamond shapes. Inhale up the outside of the arms, back to the head in the shape of the outside of the diamond. That's if the hands are in Maha Mudra. But if you remove them somewhere else, obviously that's going to change what you're feeling there. And then once we're back at the head, we exhale from the head down to the heart on the front central channel of the ascending tetrahedron, and fill the descending lower tetrahedron on the same breath. So we know we breathe down the microcosmic orbit in meditation 8. In meditation 20, we're aware of the star tetrahedron as we go down that front region. And again, just contemplate where the lines of force are. You don't have to email me where the lines of force are. You just want to contemplate where would they be. Okay. And again, save questions for the end. I'll just keep moving on. Meditation number 21, lower body meridian energetics. This should go quick because it's very simple and I gave you a good visual with Alice Gray's work. Meditation 9, starting in level 1, lower body meridians. Again, I think I copied the wrong thing here, not what I intended to. Just as in meditation number 8, the triangle in this symbol does not represent the flow of energy in the body, but refers to the legs as being the two outer points, right down here, the two outer points of the ascending triangle. Energy runs down the yang meridians of the legs and up the yin meridians. So yang are more on the outside, in or more on the inside. But if you're really technical, that's not 100% true. It just helps you simply state it here. But there's 6 meridians on arms and 6 meridians on legs. And outside, inside really is not the most accurate way to say it. But for simple meditative purposes, energy runs down the yang meridians, which are again more on the outside, and then up the yin meridians more on the inside. Is that correct? Don't worry about yin or yang. That can be confusing. Let me be sure I just get you the most accurate. We inhale up to the head. We exhale down more the inside of the arm. We inhale more up the outside of the arm. And it's down the yang meridians. Oh, these are the legs. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm going up the back central channel, down the front, and then down the. Let's do what it says here. Inhale around the. Again, when you practice, you just don't think this way. You just do it. Inhale down the outside of the infinity symbol, the legs to the feet. All right, yeah, that's accurate. And then exhale up on the inside. Okay, so we're talking about the legs. I can't show you right now. So basically, all right, let's keep it as simple as possible. Energy runs from the yang meridians of the legs and up the yin meridians. Okay, that is accurate. I got it. I was just thinking of the arms. So that's the legs. The line in the middle represents the traditional flow of the microcosmic orbit of the front and back central channel. So simply stated, this one is really easy, right? We inhale up the back, we exhale down the front, we inhale down the legs, we exhale up the legs. When the legs are in lotus pose, right? If you imagine that, they form an infinity symbol. And I bet you if we do a quick screen share, we can find some of that kind of thing. Just a sec. I don't know about with Alex Gray, but maybe. I know you don't see my screen yet. Just a sec. Oh, it could work. All right, so here if we were to zoom in, there's when the 2 legs are joined in meditation, then the 2 become one. You can't really tell what's left and what's right, said Shunro Suzuki in Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind. So the 2 become one, and the hands, the 2 become one. Notice how the head is down here. So you can imagine all the energy going right into the hara region. Here he has the 2nd chakra a little bit higher for, I think, probably illustrative purposes, because it would be a bit lower by the hands, but it depends on the angle you're looking. Anyway, because the hands are Maha Mudra and the legs are in lotus, all the energy is being pulled to the region of the hands. And again, this red, the 1st chakra is down at the tailbone, but I know because the way I did my book, it's very hard to do that in art because of the angle of things. Anyway, in this meditation we're in now, lower body meridian energetics, we're focusing on the infinity symbol of the legs. I also decided to pull this picture because it's a little freaky, but these 2 snake-like channels would represent Ida and Pingala Nadi. Let me show you those real quick. So in case you don't know, the chakra, you should know by now, but I don't know if I taught this to you. The chakra system, put me in the top right. You have the core central channel called the Sushumna. And then you have the 2 snake-like channels, Ida and Pingala Nadis. All right, so the Kundalini is moving through those. Here, we have the idea that the Kundalini goes up the chakra system. There's Anahat chakra with the 6-pointed star. Notice how there's a descending triangle here in the throat and a descending triangle here in the solar plexus. The square at the tailbone. So square, tailbone, crescent moon at Svadhisthana chakra, 2nd chakra. I know you can't read all this, but I'm telling you the Sanskrit. 3rd, Manipura chakra, Anahat chakra, Vishuddha chakra, Ajna chakra, Sahasrara chakra. The idea that the triangles are going down implies energy is moving down the chakra system. And that's how energy comes into your body, down the chakra system. But when you ascend, you're pulling energy up the chakra system. In the next meditation, when we get to wings, we're going, I'm just doing this now so I can show you preparation for wings. We're going up the core central channel, but you'll feel the snake-like movements as you go up, as your system opens. Eventually that will branch out as wings. That's what the wings of the caduceus symbol are. And then you'll get the halo effect up at the crown. So hold those thoughts for sure. And here you have the idea of there's chakras in your hands and chakras in the bottoms of your feet as well. And really any acupuncture point is technically a chakra. All right, so that's good. We're getting a good sense of energetic anatomy here and trying not to overly, I think looking at the text on this page can make Anahat meditation seem a little dry. But once you know what you're really breathing into with the imagery I'm showing you, then I hope you get a much better sense of just how cool you are as an energetic being. Okay, so simply stated now, meditation number 21, lower body meridians, energetics. Inhale up the back central channel of the descending tetrahedron to the ascending upper tetrahedron. So basically from hara to head, but focus on the three-dimensional grids. Then exhale down the front central channel of the ascending tetrahedron to the descending lower tetrahedron, right? We just breathe the microcosmic orbit up the back, down the front, but again, focus on the energy grids more than the body when you do it, contemplating where the grids are. Inhale around the outside of the infinity symbol of the legs to the feet. But that's if you're in full lotus or some form of lotus, but really contemplate, like put your attention on your astral, or let me say your etheric legs more than your physical legs. So as you're breathing into your legs, you might feel the etheric body is a little bit out of the physical. It surrounds the physical. But as you do this more and more, you're transferring your attention to the etheric. So you're going to start kind of poking out of your body a little bit and just contemplate what's happening in your legs when you're breathing down there. And then you'll exhale along the inside of the affinity symbol of the legs of the descending lower tetrahedron, back to the descending lower tetrahedron. Okay, so I'll show you on the cushion. We just breathe like around the legs and back up. Don't get too heady about it. You can email me if you have questions, but I'm probably going to say this. Just practice. Just inhale into your legs, exhale through your legs, and feel where is the energy moving, depending on if you're in lotus or if you're in seiza, if you're on a chair. If you're on a chair, like right now, I can feel my legs. I would simply just inhale down and exhale up. But I'm going to focus on the idea that they're etheric legs, not physical. Etheric arms, not physical. So my consciousness goes zip, transfers one level up out of the physical when I do that. Okay, so it's the here's a good explanation of why we do this kind of work. When a great teacher of mine once said this, his name I don't mention. Anyway, I want to give credit where credit is due, but there's one teacher I don't mention much. So he said, when you, like if you had a stroke, you would go to rehab and they'll give you clay to make ashtrays. And you start making ashtrays because you're trying to get your mobility and your strength back and your coordination back. So you're making ashtrays with clay. That's why you're using the clay. But if you forget why you're using the clay and you start thinking, I got to make the perfect ashtray, I got to be sure it's just right, every little nook and cranny and every curve is just perfect, and you start getting neurotic about trying to make it perfect, you forgot why you're making the ashtray in the first place. The exercise has a goal, and the goal is you as a fully functioning human being. Same with doing this. So when we meditate on the legs in this way, we're not really concerned with exact anatomical locations. We're just practicing this because it's a means to an end. Remember, the figure pointing to the moon is not the moon, and when you cross the river, you don't carry the boat on your head. So these grids are pointing to the more subtle levels because they're on the more subtle levels. So ask yourself what's there. Don't necessarily ask me what's there, because I'll give you some insight, but I can't tell you everything that's there, just like I couldn't tell you everything that's in my room right now. This office has a lot of stuff in it. No matter what I say, it's not everything. And same with your astral or your etheric body. Okay, so I'll explain on this again on the cushion. Meditation number 22, wing, or I think it's singular, it doesn't matter. Wing energetics or wings energetics. Again, the names are not hardcore, in like the holy grail of Anahat somewhere. So just words to give us reference to what we're doing. I wouldn't want people creating different religions about, but one is the wings meditation group and the other is the wing meditation group. That would be silly. All right, the words are just pointing to something which is much further beyond the words. Meditation number 22, wing energetics. Yeah, again, what I copy and paste here is not exactly what meditation 10 is. Just like the other ones, it's not quite the thing. But anyway, we can read what's there. It's helpful. Energy is always held at the heart center in this meditation. That's really valuable here. Remember, we're talking angelic wings and the heart being love. So our attention is almost always at the heart and we're focused on love, but we're really focused on compassion. Yet if you focus too much on why you need to be compassionate, then you're aware of a lot of the suffering in the world. So I focus mostly on love. AC just stopped, so much better. I focus mostly on love, but when I do become aware of human suffering, this meditation is compassion, or any suffering, plants, animals, the planet right now. It's very sad what's happening out there. And when you see that, all the suffering, there's like sharks washing up on shore now, but they're still alive, and there's bacteria eating their brain. You have like zombie sharks. That's what they call them, like zombie sharks. And there's dolphins now beaching themselves more and more. It's really tragic, right? So this is two examples of like horrible tragedies of dolphins and sharks. But all these creatures are really suffering now. It's largely because of human beings. So when you're aware of the love in your heart, you're also going to be aware when you turn on the news of the tragedies that are happening now and kind of have always been happening. But whatever, we're here to be part of the solution. So this meditation would be compassion when you're living it. But in meditation, we want to focus on a non-samadhi, which is, we'll talk about later, it's meditating in bliss. So love, peace, joy, bliss, oneness. Let this be beautiful and mystical and ecstatic. And that's why I would say the focus is on love, but love seeing pain is compassion, and there's plenty of that needed right now. Okay, so you're holding the awareness of the heart, even though you're aware of your wings, which is represented with the circle and the star. The line in the middle represents the core central channel. So I just showed you that's the Sushumna, where energy is drawn from the base of the descending triangle to the crown. The exhalation sends the energy through the heart shape and back to the base of the ascending triangle once again. So that's level 1, meditation 10, wings. Meditation 22, wing energetics. From the descending lower tetrahedron, right, the region of the hara, but talking in 3 dimensions, of meditation 21, because that's where we ended, you are to breathe up the central channel of the hara to the head, right? So from the lower region up to the higher region, but again, focus on the more subtle levels with an awareness of the entire geometry of the star, right? Because you want to be embracing everything is here. So as you're inhaling up now, you should be aware that there's a star tetrahedron around your body, and there's a sphere containing all of that. So you're breathing up like everything you know, and then it branches out. But when it branches out, see it on the etheric level, and don't just see a tube toroidal, like the Earth magnetic field imagery. And it's not just a heart like you would draw, for Valentine's Day. These are your wings, and are they made for flying? You don't need wings for flying, but let's talk about the wings a little bit. It's so nice. It's like when I stand up, like you feel like this archangel kind of thing. You feel powerful. My wings, I feel like when I hug you, I embrace you with my wings. When I'm hugging you, it's not just my arms. I'm like enveloping you with wings. If you're with your tantric partner, you're embracing that person with wings. It's an energy. It's not needed for flying. When you're out of your body, you don't need arms or legs or wings. But remember, you're creating yourself. in the highest way you can conceive of, right? Because again, when this body dies, who are you? Well, you're always spirits, but who you recreate yourself as is very much up to you. Like right now, if you said, I love the Navy SEALs. That is badass. That's so cool. They're so strong and so powerful. And that's just the highest level of being a human being, be a Navy SEAL, an Army Ranger or something. So you can start training for that and doing that and focus on that. When your body dies, if that's all you thought of is who you are, you'll come back in as elite warrior. Good for you. All right. I hope you do good. But if I were to focus this whole lifetime on, like, in hypnotherapy, what our clients do? I'm such a loser. I'm not worth anything. I'm bad. I'm stupid. I'm unlovable. I'm shameful. I'm dirty and disgusting. And then the body dies. Well, guess what your next life is going to be like? It might be a step up, but it's still just infused with those thoughts. You're most likely reincarnating again as human. I don't know. I'm just probability. Probability, if you focus on you as an angelic being, it doesn't mean you just go the astral plane, the angelic astral plane, to the causal levels, and just hang out there all the time. You might still be of service on lower planes, but at least you're doing it as an angel. I'd much rather walk this planet as an angel than pretty much anything else. My grandmother, she was like, "Darling Matt, you're an angel." And I was like, yeah, I kind of know that. So it's not by default, it's by choice. It's by choice to focus on the highest you can conceive of. So yeah, what would it be like if you're out of your body with glorious angelic wings? And then if you're doing this with a partner, what is it like if you're both out of your body? But when you hug each other, do you wrap your wings around each other? And is it pure unconditional love? Is like this undying divine love that you are for eternity? So to me, this is almost like graduation. Remember the idea of when an angel gets his or her wings. Right? When an angel gets his wings, what is that all about? Well, you graduated Earth School, if you want to call it that. I don't like that model, but hopefully you get a sense of a fully open chakra system, fully open heart, no blockages. Like every chakra is open. And you want to visualize that with this meditation. All the chakras open, the wings branch out, they come back down to the heart region. All right, so what does it say in writing? And remember, this is written like 15 years ago or more, so my understanding has evolved over the years. From the descending lower triangle of meditation 21, you are to breathe up the central channel from heart to head with an awareness of the entire geometry of the star. I work to contain all of the imagery. You will pull the energy from the descending lower tetrahedron of the hara to the hexahedron. That I wouldn't have written hexahedron of the heart. Like I said, that's the cube. That's kind of a mistake, honestly. It's not what I like to focus on. So the heart, you're going to focus more on the octahedron shape there, or the star tetrahedron shape there. It's not that you can focus on a hexahedron there, but a square is very boxy, right? A cube is very boxy. It's not the kind of energy I want to feel at the heart. The octahedron is like the diamond shape, 3 dimensions, and the tetrahedron, right, obviously a star tetrahedron, or star tetrahedron in the heart. So I'd focus more there where it says hexahedron, an octahedron, or a star tetrahedron. And again, a icosahedron and dodecahedron are just too complex, but you can be aware of that general idea there. So through the heart, really just moving through the heart, and into the ascending upper tetrahedron of the head. This occurs on the first inhalation, just as in meditation number 10. The breath is pulled up the core central channel and is also filling the entire body as the star. All right, then the exhalation traces the wings, just as in meditation number 10, in exactly the same way in the shape of a heart. But again, not to nail down to that idea of the heart, more the idea of wings. This symbol is quite profound as it represents the wings of geometric compassion. I don't know where I saw it, but I like the idea, so I accepted it. Called the geometry of compassion. And if you could see your aura, when it is pure compassion, it's the tube toroidal shape. You can Google that if you like, tube toroidal, which is kind of like a magnet. You got the core central line there, and you got the arcs of force or the Earth's magnetic field. It's just like but a tube toroidal is like a donut shape, and you're that core central channel. Just imagine like an elongated donut. So the core central channel of that is your spine, Sushumna. But now we're transferring to the etheric level. So this core central channel is not a spine, it's a tube of energy. And when the energy goes up, it branches out, and then it comes back down to the bottom where it loops back in. But the wing shape, we're not so concerned about this lower area. We're concerned more with this higher area and how it branches down and in. Okay, the symbol is quite profound as it represents the wings of geometric compassion, because when the heart is that open to love, it's really, like I said, just pure love. But the moment you as an angelic being see pain, then your compassion will kick in and your desire to be of service will kick in. And you remember, you cannot get liberation alone. There's no such thing as individual salvation. You're still here. And part of why you're still here is because others are still suffering and they're still here. And until they're free, then nobody goes home. We did our photo shoot, I told you, recently, just this weekend in Beverly Hills, LA. And I'm going to tell you a quick little story that was very sweet. I've been to Paramahansa Yogananda's Self-Realization Fellowship there, the Lake Shrine Complex, a few times in my life. And I am very influenced by Yogananda. I feel very, very connected to that. And then my PR team, they said we did a really nice hotel photo shoot. But then the next day they said, let's meet again. And the photographer goes, have you ever been to a lake shrine? I'm like, oh, wow, really? Wow, like Yogananda, I can go see Krishna there? I got all excited. I'm like, oh my God, we can go see Krishna at the lake shrine. We're going to go walk where Yogananda walked. Paramahansa Yogananda, one of the greatest saints who've ever walked this planet, who wrote Autobiography of a Yogi and many other beautiful books. He lived there. He walked there. He taught there. That's like walking in the footsteps of Christ or Buddha. So I was just there yesterday, and we're taking a lot of pictures. I can't wait to see what comes out. But the point is, well, I don't know what the point is except to tell you that story. I do feel like I'm being led to open a branch of our hypnotherapy school in LA. I think that's why I live out here. And I was doing that right before COVID hit, and then I took a break. But I feel like the energy is moving there again, and to be led there without even me coming up with the idea where they told me to go there, like, of course. So this idea of walking the planet, to be of service, to let God guide you, to just be here. The reason I started telling you that story is I started driving around Venice, Santa Monica, looking for just places where we could open Anaheim Meditation Center and a branch of our hypnotherapy school. And the amount of homelessness is really tragic. There are tents everywhere. People from coronavirus who lost their homes, people who didn't have money in the first place. When you just see human beings living in tents, living in rat-infested filth underneath the highways, they're under the overpasses, it's really tragic. You can't do this meditation and not be acutely aware of the suffering. So to not feel sad means something's wrong. When you see another human being lying in filth in the United States of America, something's still very wrong. So I really want to emphasize, meditation 22, we'll call it, or meditation 10, the wings meditation, when you're contemplating that, you really want to be opening your heart, and it's going to make you acutely aware of the suffering. But that is honestly what's going to move you through the stages of spiritual growth. You would never move into the latter stages. We talked about the Buddhist ox learning pictures from 1 to 10. You wouldn't move into stages 9 and 10, or it's that you're moving to stage 9, which is returning to the source, but oneness with all that is. So that's oneness with the homeless people. That's oneness with the sharks and dolphins washing up on the shore. When you're one with all of that, you can't not be aware of it. I told our new PR person, I said, there's a bumper sticker I saw. It says, if you're not appalled, you're not looking. Okay, so please understand, in meditation, so much bliss, so much peace. You're like, oh my God, my insides are so beautiful. And then you open your eyes and see people who have no clue about that. Trust me, you're not just going to fly out of your body and leave. You're going to be extremely aware of the suffering. And I hope you'll honor that kind of prayer Thank you. I love you. How may I be of service? And yeah, I'm really moved to keep helping with the homeless. I've always done something, but I want to keep doing more because again, until everybody's free, nobody's free. Okay, so that's really to me the essence of this, the geometric compassion. It returns to the hara at its base to start all over again with an inhalation up the central channel. So as we go up, we meet God. As we come back down, we have to admit what's happening in the physical plane. But Anahat is constantly doing both, integrating the higher and the lower and the lower and the higher. And when everybody's eventually integrated that way, then there is no more suffering according to the deeper traditions. All right, meditation 23, integration energetics. Remember, there's still focus in the heart. There's kind of this cross that occurs at the heart. The energies intermingle as they integrate. And again, I think the writings I copied and pasted here are accurate, but not the exact description how to do the meditation for level 1. But they're still valuable writings. Meditation number 11, integration. Energy here follows the basic pattern of the star. The inhalation moves from the lower descending triangle into the ascending triangle to its apex. The exhalation sends energy down the ascending upper triangle through the descending triangle. The two crossing lines in the middle represent the integration or intermingling of ascending and descending energies, and also alludes to a twisting or spiraling motion that may, and it does say may, remember, may happen at the heart. Basically just breathing up and down. Super easy, but you're aware now that you have an ascending triangle and a descending triangle, and you have the ascending upper triangle, descending lower triangle. You should be aware of both of those or all of that as you're breathing. But then meditation 23, integration energetics, is simply an inhalation up the descending lower tetrahedron and the ascending tetrahedron. So it is from the very bottom of all that you know there, all the way up to the top. And that should just move you all the way up into spirit. And then this breath moves from the tailbone to the crown in one motion. Then the exhalation moves from the crown to the tailbone, down the descending upper tetrahedron and the descending tetrahedron. Here the energies are integrated into a oneness that mirrors the truth that ascending and descending are really one. Okay, so that is leading into the deeper stage of spiritual growth. But the movement is just up, basically the ascending triangle, ascending tetrahedron, down the descending tetrahedron, but focus on it. Be aware of the three-dimensional shapes and what's happening in the heart. But here, when you visualize the heart and how the energies merge or kind of mix, twist, whatever you feel there, it's hard to find the English word for that. When they intermingle at the heart, you might have only felt that like 2 dimension, but now imagine 3 dimensions surrounded by a star tetrahedron, surrounded by the sphere, and your heart has a sphere and a star tetrahedron as well. So as the energy comes up through here, it curves in the way that the Sushumna and the Ida Pingala curve, but Ida Pingala Nadi, they're not 2-dimensional either. That's a snake, moving up your spine. So I can feel the way that those 2 energies twist and spiral, in a sense, at the heart. So let's talk briefly about ascending, descending, becoming one. In Samadhi, there are no words. In Samadhi, there are no words. Come on. When we breathe up the ascending triangle, we have this idea that we're going up to God. When we go down the descending triangle, we have this idea, and these are only ideas, that we're coming back to the earth. And then the heart is the center of that. But in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, there's no up or down. There's no in or out. There's no left, right. There's no higher or lower. There's no spirit and matter. There's only spirit. There's only God. There's only God. There's only God. There's only God. There's only love. There's nothing else happening. So this, where it goes to, There are just no words to where it goes to, but trying to give you words. What happens in this integration at this level, we'll have to go into another class for deep samadhi, Anand Samadhi, Asmita Samadhi, but then what I'm referring to now is Nirvikalpa Samadhi. But the deeper stage is called Kaivalya Avastha, or self alone. No matter where you put your attention, no matter what you're focused on, there's only God. So it's stage 9 in the Oxfording pictures, returning to the source, but it's a picture of all that is. And I'm closing my eyes, but with eyes open or closed, that's what's happening, only God, which means that everything is God. So like I said, when I was in college, I was working at the drugstore, Eckerd Drugs, only for like a month or so, but I'd open my eyes and look around. It's like, wow, everything's God. The customer is God. For my clients in my early years of practice, I had a little note on my desk that they couldn't see, but I could from where I was sitting. It said, the client is God. You treat everyone as God. Another quote I live by is, everything is God, act accordingly. Everything is God. Every animal is God. All your friends, your family, the homeless people, everyone is God. How would you act if you knew that the divine beloved that you worship in meditation is actually the person on the street sleeping in a tent? Right? That's where compassion continues to arise. And again, it's unavoidable at this stage of the game. When all beings are free, then we don't have to get sad anymore. Right? But the deep compassion that comes in that state is what leads us to stage 10 in the Buddhist Oxfording pictures, entering the marketplace with helping hands, where you go and be of service, however you're called to. And remember this as we get into that idea. Consciously selected miracles can be misguided. Even though you feel bad about something, it doesn't mean you're meant to do that miracle at that time. One of the people I was interacting with over this past weekend during the photo shoot has some issues, pain, health issues, a bunch of issues. I'm not here to judge, but it's hard to not see it when you're, in this kind of spaces. Part of me, I'm like, oh my God, I could help that, I could help that, I could help that. But nothing in me was moving me to do those miracles at that time. So you just don't. Consciously selected miracles can be misguided. But you are going to be called to do miracles as you get more and more clear. And those are the ones that are directed by spirit. And you'll do the most beneficial work, the most effective work, if you just do what God's asking you to do. The nice thing about this level of work is you don't have to make your own decisions. You're just going with the flow. Like yesterday, I'm like, oh my God, I was just brought back to the Self-Realization Fellowship at the Lake Shrine. And I get to stand there and bow to Krishna. There's such a beautiful Krishna statue there. So, to me, in my essence, I am a monk. I am a devotee of God. I am a Hare Krishna. I'm a Zen practitioner. All these labels. But think about who are you in your essence, because your body doesn't define you. And now we got wings going on. We know ourselves as angels. But this meditation, this integration, is to be an angel here on earth. Because remember, Anahat is about being fully descended, fully ascended, and fully open to God. So I know some of these meditations are complex, but this one is easy. Just inhale up, exhale down. And well, big deal, anybody could do that. But you have to know, what are you contemplating here? This connection, this twisting at the heart, this integrating of ascending and descending where they're no longer two. Then the state we're talking about, which we'll talk about more whenever we get to the stages of samadhi, next class, we'll really talk about what is Nirvikalpa Samadhi, what is Kaivalya Avastha. It's not necessarily what you would think it means, because you think, oh, that's just leaving the body and no longer here. It's not actually, it's not necessarily a transcendent state, because in Nirvikalpa there's no transcending, there's no ascending, descending. God is everywhere. You don't have to go somewhere to find God. Well, you can leave your body because you're not a body. Okay, so anyway, that's the prep talk, the pre-talk, the prep talk, the pep talk is the term I'm looking for. The pep talk, and then number 23. Number 24, structure. Remember at level 1, this deals with the skeletal structure, so the imagery here. The star, like the 2 layers. You got the inner layer, which could represent the human. And you got the outer layer, which could represent the energy, or the idea that the center is the marrow of the bones. right? And how we inhale up the skeletal structure and then exhale and relax down everything else. But that opens us for level 2 when we do it on level 1. Because, let me do it. I inhale up the spine and fill the spine with light, but then I exhale and everything relaxes down. And when that happens, I'm automatically opening to level 2, to the etheric level. Then you go through all level 2 meditations, of course. So I'm just feeling those now. And then when we get to this final meditation, we're not breathing into the bones. You're really breathing into your etheric body at level 2. The etheric body's chakras and meridians, just as they are, really without the geometries. Because when we breathe up the spine, we're not really focusing on geometry. We just focus on the entire, not the spine, the whole skeleton. You're breathing from the toes, the bones of the toes, the legs, the entire pelvic girdle, torso, rib cage, arms, head. That's the inhalation. I'm aware of the whole skeleton. As I exhale, all of the skin and everything else, organs, just relax, which is really nice. When I go to level 24, meditation 24, level 2, I inhale and I'm focusing largely on the imagery in those Alex Gray pictures, the etheric body, all those meridians, which are not really in my physical body anymore. It's larger. Your etheric body is larger than your physical. It surrounds your physical. So as I inhale, I'm aware of those, but I'm transferring my attention to those. So now I'm not a physical body. I'm not an etheric body, but I'm aware of my etheric body. That's the inhale. I just fill my etheric body. It's large and it has wings and it has chakras and it has the meridian system. As I exhale, let's see what it says because it's hard to find the words. Meditation number 24 begins meditation. All right, we got to start with actually meditation number 12, structure. The inner lines of this double line symbol refer to the skeletal system. The outer, oh, I know what I did. I copy and pasted the description of the symbols, not the description of how to do the meditation. That's the difference here, so everybody's clear. There are descriptions in my writings of how to do the meditations in some of the charts in the Sacred Geometry Meditation book. I thought I copied those, but I copied the descriptions of the symbol. That's why they're accurate, but not quite the words I was looking for. Meditation number 12, structure. The inner lines of this double line symbol refer to the skeletal system. The outer lines refer to everything else that is not bone. An inhalation fills the skeletal structure with breath energy, and the exhalation relaxes everything that is not bone over the skeleton itself. Now, meditation 24. Begin meditation 24 by breathing up the skeletal structure's geometry on an inhalation. Here we visualize the skeletal structure, feel it, and breathe into it in the same way, but now we are more concerned with the outline of its shape. All right, that was my best understanding at the time, honestly, and I've obviously gone beyond that because it's not about the skeleton, that's physical. So there I was, you can see, 15 years ago, I was like, something about the outside of the skeleton, but you got to really take a leap up to the etheric level to really be doing this. See the legs in a lotus position as an infinity symbol? I like that still because that's on that level. And the pelvic region as a descending tetrahedron. See the rib cage as a descending tetrahedron, and the sternum and scapula as descending triangles. The skull is also a descending tetrahedron. Yeah, you know, like this V shape. The arms make up diamonds along the torso. So that was my best I could do at the time to visualize the geometries of those areas. So you can do that, but you know, do what I did. Spend years contemplating what's happening on the etheric level of the physical body. We are still breathing into the skeletal structure. Yes, you know, and no, because we're trying to say what is the etheric version of the skeletal structure, which is really the etheric bodies, meridians, and chakras. We're still breathing into the skeletal structure and charging it with spiritual energy, but now we're seeing its geometry rather than its physical structure. All right, so I was working to transition my consciousness at the time from the physical structure of skeleton to the geometries that would make, like a scapula or a tailbone or a sacrum or the sternum. But go beyond that. The exhalation of this meditation simply relaxes the entire body over the skeletal structure geometry for a final letting go. I mean, that's true, but that's still kind of level 1 talk. The deeper level 2 for me now is I inhale up the meridian systems of the whole etheric body and the chakras. You know, and as I exhale now, it's like I'm floating up into the etheric body. That letting go of that last breath of the whole system. In level 1, it's, the body relaxes. On level 2, it's like you're really loose at this point. Meaning the etheric template, the etheric body is really loose. And as I inhale into it, I'm moving into it. As I exhale, I'm just being in it. And out of body travel at this moment feels very, like if the body right now were lying in bed and we're in the state called body asleep, mind awake, which we'll talk about later. Yeah, I would just float right out of it. Meditation 3, we're going to learn to use the grids and different techniques that you haven't learned yet to have an out-of-body experience. So we're getting pretty close to that, and I can feel and sense that's what, remember, I didn't invent the system. I only practice it like you do. And meditation 24 is definitely showing me how it's leading into level 3 very clearly and in a beautiful way that I haven't even fully grasped except for right now. That is just becoming more and more clear. So that's kind of how this works, right? I just know how to do the meditations, yet I'm always amazed at what they do and what they mean as I progress as well. Okay, let's get towards the cushion. There's our notes page. Congratulations for making it this far. Meditations, I don't think I had this right in the training manual last time, but this one I adjusted. Lessons 19 and 24, ideally for at least a month. So some people are not ready, one of you expressed, not ready to move to level 2 yet, no problem. At least you're taught how to do it like I was taught how to do it, and I still practice it to this day. Okay, so just keep practicing. You'll know in your heart if you're ready to move on or if you have any doubts. So you can do all the training with me to the end, but we'll have a real good heart-to-heart about being a certified teacher. And when are you really ready to say that, yeah, I'm certified in this? There's certificate of completion, but then there's certified teacher. So you can go through all the training and we can talk about getting a certificate for having completed the whole training. But to really be able to teach it, and it won't just be the day we finish all these classes together, all through level 1 through 3, and then we start talking about level 4. Yeah, it doesn't mean on that day you're just a certified teacher, right? And you can see how deep this stuff is. And the recordings right now are teaching all of this. So being a teacher of it will be, well, I don't know what it'll look like for you, but ideally it's guiding people with you, guiding to move through the videos as well, not just to learn it without this, because obviously there's a lot here right now. Okay, anyway, that's coming later. All right. Let me open it to Q&A real quick, knowing that we don't want to spend too much time on that. I'm going to see if I can make the camera less blurry. Whatever. Okay, any questions you're sharing before I climb over to the cushion? Make it a little cooler in here, hopefully not too loud. All right, give me a sec. Oh, why don't we take a 5-minute break? How's that? I'll see you guys back. It's 5 after. Let's see you back at 10 after. And then we'll get on the cushion. Okay, 5-minute break. All right, they're back. Just getting on the meditation cushion. Make sure the chair's out of the way. All right, great. Hello, everybody. Let's get into meditation mode. So Sunday night meditation time. I'm going to talk through the meditations first, but I'm going to bow in, and then we'll start from 1 all the way to 24. I'll shut the AC at that time because that'll be our official recording for that. Yeah, but right now, just bowing in. And Scott shut the air conditioning at that moment. Thank you. All right. So let's go to level 2. And we adjusted down the 6-pointed star. It's the star tetrahedron for level 2. And then just talking you through all the meditations first. The star reverse, I'm not going to use numbers because that's always hard to remember. But the star reversed, you can start if you were down below or if you're in above. But I'm going to just go up the back central channel now. So I'm pulling energy up into the ascending upper tetrahedron because I pulled it up the line in the back. And I'll exhale down the ascending tetrahedron. And it's like a cone. Doesn't have to be to 3 points. It can just feel like a vortex pouring down. But yeah, it's a 3-dimensional outpouring, and I'm aware of the tetrahedron. I'm aware of this flow down. When I inhale down the front central channel, I can be aware of a line of force that comes down and fills the descending lower triangle, descending lower tetrahedron, that whole shape. Then exhale up the ascending triangle. So from here, it goes up, ascending upper tetrahedron, like up this cone. And then again, up the back, exhaling down, inhaling down the front, exhaling up. Okay, so I know it's very complicated, but give me a moment to try to explain it well. So we have 4 breaths with this one. And the first one, once we were up here, so if we inhaled up to the head, then exhale is down the ascending tetrahedron. Inhale down the front, there's like a line of force that comes down into the descending lower triangle. Exhale up that whole triangle, up the descending triangle. And then inhale up the back line of force into the ascending tetrahedron. Again, exhale down. Okay, so that's a description of that. We'll get into it officially in a moment. When the energy changes, it moves up the back to the head is this ascending triangle region. So that's up the back of the microcosmic orbit, but felt with, like I really feel the tetrahedron in my head here. As I inhale up the back, like a straight line of force up the back, up to the head, and then I exhale down the arms. If the hands are in Maha Mudra, to get aligned for the camera, right, and this shirt's a little puffy, but here, this shape is a big part of that. So we inhale up the back, again, 3-dimensional, exhale down through here. Inhale up around the outside. But if we go etheric, we're aware of the energy around the arms. So even if the arms were here, we're focusing on the etheric arms. So the energy comes down the inside, up the outside, up to the head, and then it comes down the front, which again, there's like a line of force on this descending triangle coming back to this lower region. So again, this meditation, upper body meridian energetics, up the back of the microcosmic orbit energetically to the head. Exhale down the arms. Inhale up the arms, exhale down the front. Yet again, we're focused on the 3-dimensional etheric grids of it. For the next meditation, lower body meridians, we'll go up the back and down the front, but I'm aware of the descending lower tetrahedron here and the ascending upper tetrahedron as I breathe up and down. I'm aware of, yes, they're connected with this microcosmic orbit, but there are the ascending upper tetrahedron, the ascending lower tetrahedron. And of course, there's all the space in the middle. You're just visualizing what's there, but you're doing it on this energetic level of the grids. So up and down, and truly up the whole star is in place now. It's not like you're forgetting about certain aspects of it, you're working to remember more. So when I breathe up and down, I'm breathing up these grids. They're all there now. Just as you breathe up your arms and down your arms, you breathe up and down the grids that you know are there now. So up the star, down the star, basically. Again, the inhalation on this meditation for lower body meridians, energetics level, up the back, aware of all those grids, and then down the front. For the legs, I can imagine the infinity symbol at the legs, right? I haven't stretched much lately. I was busy on photo shoots, so but now you can't see anyway. Now this is in full lotus, but you can't even see it. It's uncomfortable anyway. This is half lotus. So you're breathing through the meridians of the legs. When we come down here, we trace the outsides, feeling the etheric body, and whatever position the legs are in. But in full lotus, it would be kind of an infinity symbol. So inhale down the outsides, exhale. Where is it? At least right now, it feels like I'm inhaling down the outside, exhaling up the inside. The inside is correct. But just don't focus on the legs. Focus on like your etheric body kind of hovering above the physical, and breathe into the energy that surrounds all of it. And then back up. Then meditation 22, wing energetics. I'm aware of the whole six-pointed star grid now for sure all around me. I'm aware of the core central channel. I'm aware of Hara region, descending lower tetrahedron. All the space in here, octahedron and everything else, but the six-pointed star, tetrahedron, my heart, and then the ascending. So I'm aware of all of it. I breathe up the center with awareness very much at the heart, and then let the wings branch out. But with the hands, they branch out back down to the heart. For the overall just feel of them, enjoy it. Like whatever you can feel and imagine, just wings branching out. And then they don't necessarily come back in like, you know, a V, right? Whatever your wings look like. And then they come back down to, it really comes down to the sexual energy again. So embracing all of it up and then back down. But not physical and as expansive as you're willing to go. So it's pretty simple. And we talked about what it all means: the heart, love, compassion, the tube toroidal, where energy is flowing like the magnetic field or the magnetic field of the earth. Right, so you might feel what I'm doing now with my hands in your own aura. That it keeps getting bigger and branching out, bigger and branching out, bigger. Right. Okay, so if you're seeing what my hands are doing, or what they were doing, and now, 23, integration. I'm aware of the whole six-pointed star, the tetrahedrons, the star tetrahedron. I'm breathing up the entire system to spirit, and then down the entire system back to earth. But because I'm on the etheric level, ascending and descending don't really mean much anymore. The integration is here at the heart, where the energy kind of twists. And then there's just, wherever I look, whatever I'm feeling, there's just spirit everywhere. So as above, so below, but below has what's above. Spirit is here, and there's only spirit here. So just inhale up the ascending tetrahedron, exhale down the descending tetrahedron, keep the center at the heart, but realize just how significant that meditation is. Okay, and then number 12, structure energetics, or 24, structure energetics. We're going to breathe up the skeleton, and relax everything down over the skeleton, but now shift to the etheric body, so which you're already in. So you inhale up the etheric template, which is the chakras. So all 7 chakras, all the meridians that you could just imagine generally. Not quite in the physical, right? The etheric is bigger and outside the physical. So you inhale up that whole structure, exhale down, like you're staying in that structure. It's becoming more buoyant. It's not really in the physical. As I go up that etheric body and then I lean into it a bit. It's like coming out of the physical. All right, that's the intro. Let's not take too long. I'm going to shut the AC. We're going to do formal meditation numbers 1 all the way through 24, as long as I feel I need to do for each one, just to describe it. You know, approximately 3 minutes per meditation, but let's see how long it goes. All right. So levels 1 and levels 2, it's going to take a little while. Well, this is the whole system, at least through levels 1 and 2. We'll start with the hands in Maha Mudra. And start with the eyes open. In quarter lotus, just because I haven't really stretched in a couple days. Just working to relax the shoulders, get everything nice and aligned. Then inhaling at the Hara. So level 1, basic practice, you can count your breaths, but choose what you're going to do with your mind now. And we're descending meditation 1. Breathing into the Hara and focus largely in the physical body. The descending triangle from shoulders down to Hara. Cultivating Chi, cultivating Jiriki, developing Sanyam power. And just getting grounded and focused and present. Trying to get my body aligned, but it's not really what matters. So even as I move around, just do what's right for your body. Yeah, I'm working towards alignment right now. So any movements are just preparing my system for the whole practice. Working to be fully grounded, fully present here now. And pretty much just being human. Descending and willing to acknowledge I'm having a human experience. Fully in my arms, fully in my legs. And this is important as we move to meditations all the way through 24, because you're going to be leaving your body to some degree. And this meditation is all about getting back in. Level 1 is really important to integrate the etheric with the physical, and all of it with the physical. So after you've been practicing level 2, remember how important level 1 is to be able to get back in your body. Because you will be practicing level 2 and 3. And level 1 is not something you'll forget about because you kind of need it. Meditation 2 at the heart. We inhale to the heart, exhale at the heart, pulling energy up the core central channel. Exhale, keep it at the heart. We're opening the heart to love. And then eventually we're just being with the heart, only love. The chin might go up a tiny bit. And keep my eyes open just a little longer until I'm breathing in and out the heart. Only love. Only love. Let everything else go. And the heart remains open to love. To know yourself as love. And to be fully present. So no past, no future. Just here and now. Peaceful, loving, and kind, kindness to yourself, only self-love. And a fully open heart. So we have descending, fully grounded, heart-centered, fully open heart. Then inhale, we might relax the hands if you want. And let the eyes close if you want. Pull energy up the spine all the way to the third eye. The chin might be kind of level to the ground. Tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth. And exhalations occurring up in spirit. Third eye, crown region. We're going inhaling all the way from Hara through your third chakra, through your fourth, through your fifth. Up to the third eye and crown as you exhale. Keep the energy up there. And let all the love of the heart and all the concentration direct that up towards God, towards spirit, towards the transcendent absolute. You're putting all the Sanyam power on consciousness, which essentially is the witness, the knower, the observer. You're observing the observer. You're being aware of pure consciousness. And ascending really goes beyond all the geometries. Just inhale up to spirit. Exhale, keep your awareness in spirit. And if you have a devotional temperament, you're the lover, and spirit is the beloved. This is the reminder to keep both eyes on spirit. And ascending is when you're not doing anything else, but just meditating in the pure peace of your true self. This is beyond your physical, etheric, astral, causal, or mental bodies. And when you leave your body, this is the place to go. This is the highest. Just ascend all the way to the top of the ascending triangle. You're going to keep that awareness. You never forget about that now. You now will prepare for sexual energy. Meditation 4, chin goes down a little. Inhale to the sexual organs. Exhale, keep the awareness there. Descending all the spiritual energy down through the whole body. Hara, sexual organs. Exhale. Just be aware. Just like we're doing with every meditation, different aspects of our being, self-knowledge. You didn't create all this, you're just being aware of it. There's sexual energy. You're breathing into it, allowing it to be there, whatever you feel. And this is the unexcited sexual energy. In this meditation, we're not intentionally stimulating it or kind of stirring it up now. So sexual energy in Chinese is called Jing. This is cold Jing, where warm Jing or hot Jing would be when we stimulate the sexual energy. Right now it's unstimulated, and we're just being with it. Yet remember, you went from meditation 3, ascending, and you take that spiritual awareness down to the sexual energy. So you're really embracing yourself as a sexual being, knowing you're a spiritual being having a human sexual experience. Meditation 5, circulation. We're going to inhale, pull that energy up the spine to spirit. Exhale, keep it up there. Inhaling up, sexual energy up the spine, up the back central channel mostly. Exhale, circulate it in the brain, supercharge the brain. Again, inhaling up to spirit. Exhale, keep the awareness there. Eventually, all the sexual energy is brought up to spirit. So a few more times, inhale up. Exhale, circulate in the head. Keep going, pulling sexual energy up. It goes from Jing, the sexual energy. Then at the heart, it becomes Qi. And up in the head, it becomes Shen. It goes from the dense sexual energy, the Jing, or even the semen, if you will, or sexual essence for men or women. And then you're going to inhale that sexual essence of Jing up to the heart. But keep inhaling through the heart up to spirit. And exhale, keep it up there. Eventually, you're just back up in spirit again. Having begun the process of sexual energy sublimation. Then we'll inhale again up to the head. Meditation number 6, the 6-pointed star. Exhale to the shoulders. Inhale to the hara and or sexual energy again. Exhale to the kidneys. Inhale to the crown. Exhale, shoulders. Inhale, hara. Exhale, kidneys. And you know the whole region of the body there, front and back. Inhale, crown, spirit, third eye. Exhale, shoulders, open heart. The heart is the center. You're still aware of your heart always. Inhale. Hara. Exhale, kidneys. Inhale, third eye. Exhale, shoulders. Inhale, hara. Exhale, kidneys. Up through the heart as you inhale to the third eye, crown, spirit. Exhale, shoulders, open heart, open throat. Just take a moment on your own. There should be virtually no mind. There's no real thinking happening. There's just breathing, maybe counting or whatever you're doing internally, maybe a mantra. You're just tracing the patterns of the star. Mind gets peaceful and clear. Heart is open. Stomach is gurgling. Mine is. Now we'll move on to meditation 7, the star reversed. Inhaling to the head. Exhale down the ascending triangle. Inhale the front central channel to the hara. And down to the sexual energy if you want. Exhale up the descending triangle to the lungs. Inhale up the back central channel to the head. Exhale down the ascending triangle to the kidney level. Inhale front central channel to hara. Exhale up the descending triangle to the lungs. Inhale up the back central channel to the head. Exhale down the ascending triangle. Inhale down the front central channel. Exhale up the descending triangle. Inhale up the back central channel. Exhale down the ascending triangle. Inhale down the front central channel. Exhale up the descending triangle. We'll do one more very conscious round. Inhale up the back central channel. Exhale down the ascending triangle. Inhale down the front central channel. And then exhale up the descending triangle. Meditation 8, upper body meridians. Inhale up the back central channel to the head. Exhale down the insides of the arm. Inhale up the outsides of the arms to the head, to the third eye region. Exhale down the front of the microcosmic orbit, head to Hara. Inhale back central channel to head. Exhale down the arms. Inhale up the arms. Exhale front central channel to Hara. And always, of course, sexual energy if you want to go that low. Inhale up the back central channel to the head. Exhale down the arms. Inhale up the arms. Exhale down the front central channel. Do one more round. Inhale up the back to the head. Exhale down the arms to the hands. Inhale up the arms to the head. Exhale down the front central channel back to the Hara. Meditation number 9, lower body meridians. Inhale up the back central channel to the head. Exhale down the front central channel to the Hara. Inhale down the outsides of the legs, all the way to the toes. Exhale up the yin meridians, the inside of the legs, to the Hara. Inhale up the back, all the way to the head. Exhale down the front, all the way to the Hara. Inhale down the legs. Exhale up the legs. Inhale up the back. Exhale down the front. Inhale down the legs. Exhale up the legs. You're moving energy with your mind, not just your breath. Inhale up the back. Connect to spirit. Exhale down the front. Connect to your body. Inhale down the legs, connected to the body. Exhale up the legs to the Hara. Inhale back up to spirit, up the back central channel. Exhale down the front. Inhale the legs. Exhale the legs back to the Hara. Meditation 10, wings. Inhale up the core central channel through Hara, heart, and head. Focus on the halo and wings. Exhale, expand those. But focus on that heart shape for now. Again, inhale up. Core central channel to the head. Focus on the halo effect. Exhale, expand the heart, the wings. Open your heart. Focusing only on love as you inhale up. Exhale, compassionate service. Heart, head, exhale, expand wings. Inhale, hara, heart, head. Exhale, wings. Inhale, hara, core central channel through the heart up to the head. Exhale, expand your wings. Let's keep going. Devotional love, pure love, and of course, pure service, compassionate service here right now. Just keep focusing on bliss, the heart of your heart, the breath within your breath, all the way up to spirit. And yet exhaling the wings down to the body. Inhaling up to spirit, exhale the heart shape down to the hara. Just the purest. Don't be willing to tolerate anything else but the purest love in your own being, pure peace, pure bliss. Meditation 11, integration. Inhaling up to the crown, up the ascending triangle. Exhale down the descending triangle to the hara. Focus at your heart and watch how the inhalation might twist the energy a bit at the heart. Exhale down, focusing your heart as well. Inhaling up from the tailbone, up the ascending triangle to the crown. Exhale down the descending triangle to the hara and tailbone region. Inhale up. Integrate, heart-centered. Exhale down, integrate, heart-centered. Inhale up from tailbone, ascending triangle, all the way to spirit. Exhale, spirit down the descending triangle and back to the hara. Inhale, third eye. Exhale, hara. Get focus in the triangles. Inhale, ascending triangle, third eye. Exhale, descending triangle, hara. Or inhale, ascending triangle, crown, spirit. Exhale, descending triangle, sexual energy, tailbone. Keep going. Meditation 12, structure. Inhale up the skeletal structure from toes, pelvic girdle, through your spine, rib cage, shoulders, arms, skull. Relax everything down on the exhalation. Inhale the spine tall, erect, as if hanging from the ceiling. Exhale, everything relaxes down over that and open up. Inhale up the skeleton, pack the bones with chi, filling them with white light, life force energy, breath energy. Exhale, just relax and open. And now you know level 2 is coming, so we start transitioning to the etheric as we inhale up the spine. We open as we exhale, allowing you as consciousness to start to transition to the more subtle levels. Inhale up the spine. Whole skeletal system on the inhale, exhale. Just relax and open. This is full body awareness, toes, hips, legs, spine, arms, head. The inhale embraces all of your physical being on the skeletal level. Exhale, all of your being relaxes over the skeleton. Should be very quiet inside, just breathing into the skeleton. Exhale, relaxed, soft, and quiet, present. Just sitting. You're totally in the present moment. Your spine's here now, your breath is here now, you're here now, nothing else. There's no fiction, there's just breathing and being. Level 2, we become aware of the grids much more clearly. Meditation 13, descending energetics. We're going to inhale down the descending tetrahedron to the region of the hara. The descending lower tetrahedron, we're going to leave the chi down there. You're not focusing much on the body as you are the chakras, the meridians, the geometry grids. Inhaling again down the descending tetrahedron, feel where it is. Exhale, keep the energy low. Inhale, descending tetrahedron. Exhale, lower descending tetrahedron. Focus on the lines of force. You might visualize the descending tetrahedron now. Notice its 3 upper points, leading down to 1 point at the tailbone region, yet bigger than the physical, and out of the physical, yet permeating the physical. Meditation 14, heart-centered energetics. Focus on the sphere and the tetrahedron in the sphere at your heart as you inhale from the lower descending tetrahedron up to the sphere of the heart. Exhale, open to love and focus on the geometries here. There's a star tetrahedron at your heart. Anahata chakra, love, star tetrahedron. You might notice the octahedron shape in this space. Or be aware of the more complicated idea, just generally, of the icosahedron. Or dodecahedron, all the space in your rib cage. But go beyond your rib cage to the geometries. Geometries are bigger than your rib cage. They're front, left, right, behind you. 3 dimensions. Heart-centered. Only love, yet focus on the geometries in your heart chakra. There's a 12-petal lotus at the heart chakra. In 3 dimensions. Meditation, I don't know if I can do the numbers, 13, 14, 15, I guess. Ascending energetics, imagine the ascending tetrahedron. Inhale all the way up to the ascending upper tetrahedron. Exhale, keep your awareness up there. Ascending upper tetrahedron, exhale, focus in that space. Still spirit. Still directing the love up to spirit. Inhale to the ascending tetrahedron, ascending upper tetrahedron. Exhale. Fill that space with more light. Keep your awareness, both eyes on God. Ascending tetrahedron, exhale into the ascending upper tetrahedron. Letting the veils drop from the physical, focusing more on the etheric, the more subtle, the grids, chakras, meridians, etheric body, spiritual awareness. no time or space. Not bound by a name, not bound by a form, yet focusing on the form of the etheric body and the energy grids. Sexual energetics. The chin goes down a little if it's not already. Inhale to the descending lower tetrahedron and all the way down to the sexual energy. And yet sense the very tip of the descending tetrahedron is touching upon the sexual energy, but kind of moving out, rising out, and not above it, but etheric to it. And we exhale, we keep the energy there. So we inhale down to it on the level of the descending tetrahedron. And we exhale, we keep the awareness there. It's not physical sexual, it's etheric sexual. And it's up to you to contemplate what that can mean. As you inhale, we'll move to circulation energetics. Inhale up the back central channel of a descending tetrahedron. It's a line of force there. Inhale up to the head, to the ascending upper tetrahedron. Inhale to the head region, ascending upper tetrahedron. Exhale, keep it there. Inhale, we're circulating it up the back. That line of force. Exhale, focused on the top of the star tetrahedron shape. The ascending upper tetrahedron. Again, inhale, pull the energy up the back. Exhale, keep it in the crown region, the head. But now we're focused on the geometries. Until you're very aware of the ascending upper tetrahedron and its connection, your higher chakras to spirit. You're just up there. Once you're fully established there, 6-pointed star energetics, inhale to the crown, third eye, ascending tetrahedron, exhale down to the shoulder level, the top of the descending tetrahedron. Inhale down the descending tetrahedron to the very base. Exhale up to the kidney level, the base of the ascending tetrahedron. Inhale up that ascending tetrahedron to its apex. Spirit, exhale down to the shoulder level, the top of the descending tetrahedron. Inhale all the way to its base. The point at the bottom. Exhale up to the base of the ascending tetrahedron, kidney level. Inhale up that ascending tetrahedron back to spirit. Focus on the star tetrahedron. Exhale, breathe down to the shoulder level of that tetrahedron. Inhale down to its base, the tailbone. Exhale to the kidney level. Keep transferring your consciousness to this grid, up to spirit, down to shoulders. Again, keep focusing on etheric. Focus on the tetrahedron, the star tetrahedron. Inhale to its base. Exhale, kidney level, base of the descending tetrahedron. The heart is fully open, inhaling up to spirit, top of the ascending tetrahedron. Exhale down to the top of the descending tetrahedron. Inhale down the descending tetrahedron to the lower descending tetrahedron. Exhale up to the base of the ascending tetrahedron. And just take one moment in silence. Inhale to the Hara region, the star reversed energetics. Exhale up the descending triangle to the region of the shoulders. Inhale up the back central channel, that line of force up to the ascending tetrahedron, ascending upper tetrahedron. Exhale down to the shoulder level. I'm sorry, that was wrong. We're inhaling up to the head, exhale down the entire ascending triangle, down to the kidney level. Inhale along the front central channel, back down to the Hara. Exhale up the descending tetrahedron. Inhale up the back central channel, that line of force, to the head, the top of the tetrahedron. Exhale down the ascending tetrahedron. Inhale, front central channel to lower descending tetrahedron. Exhale up the descending tetrahedron to the shoulders. Inhale back central channel, line of force to the upper tetrahedron. Exhale down to the kidney level, down the ascending triangle tetrahedron. Inhale front central channel. Exhale up to the shoulders, focus on the grids. Inhale back central channel, line of force up to the ascending tetrahedron. Exhale down the ascending tetrahedron all the way to the kidney level. Inhale front central channel to Hara. Exhale Hara to lungs. But again, focus on the subtle grids. Inhale back central channel, that line of force to the ascending upper tetrahedron. Exhale down the ascending tetrahedron to the kidneys. Again, take a moment in silence. I know it's complicated, but practice. Upper body meridian energetics. Inhale up the back central channel to the head. Exhale down the arms, but focus on etheric arms. Inhale up your etheric arms. Exhale front central channel down to the Hara. Again, 3 dimensions, tetrahedron. Inhale up the back central channel to the head. Exhale down to the Hara. I'm sorry, that was wrong. Inhale up to the head. Exhale down the arms. Inhale up the arms. Exhale down the front. Focus on the energy grids in the etheric body. Inhale up the back. Exhale, focus on the diamond shape, perhaps in the arms. Inhale up the arms. Exhale, front central channel to Hara. Inhale up the back to the head. Focus on the sphere, the tetrahedron up here. Exhale, down the arms. Etheric arms, inhale up etheric arms. Feel like your etheric arms are even kind of out of your physical body, down to the Hara. Lower body, meridian energetics, inhale up the back central channel on the etheric level. Exhale down the front to the Hara. Inhale down the legs, etheric. Exhale, back up the legs. Feel like the legs are barely in the body. Inhale up the back, in the grids, in the etheric body. Exhale down the front. Inhale down the legs. You might imagine the infinity sign there. Trace that if you're in some kind of lotus. Exhale up that. Back to the heart. Inhale up the back. Exhale down the front. Inhale down the legs. Exhale up the legs. Inhale up the back. Exhale down the front. Inhale down the etheric legs. Exhale up the etheric legs, and then wing energetics. Inhale up the core central channel, hara, heart, head. Exhale, wings. Focus as you inhale up the entire star tetrahedron. Exhale, expand the wings back to the heart. Inhale up the center, core central channel of the tetrahedron shapes. Exhale, branch the light out to extend in the halo, the sphere at the head. Breathing the geometry of compassion, you inhale up, fully open. Exhale, expand wings. Just contemplate the energy of this, the etheric body blossoming out wings. The heart open only to love and peace and bliss. And you're integrating ascending and descending. You inhale and ascend up to spirit. But you exhale and descend the energy down through the wings to the body. Again, only love, leading to compassionate service. Keep transferring your awareness to you as spirit, you as etheric, you're not physical. Meditation 23, integration energetics. Integration energetics, inhale, up to the crown, up the ascending tetrahedron, exhale down the descending tetrahedron. But be aware of everything from tailbone to crown, nothing is deleted now. Be aware of all of it, inhale from tailbone to crown, be aware of everything that's there. Exhale, crown to tailbone. But only the geometries, only the etheric grid. Only the etheric body. Feel the integration occurring at the heart here. We inhale up all the way to the head. Awareness at the heart. Exhale down to the tailbone. Awareness stays at the heart. Very little physical awareness now, even though I'm breathing, inhaling up and down. I'm much more aware of my etheric level of being. In the meditation 24, structure energetics. Inhale up and infuse the etheric body with all of your awareness. Exhale and kind of float up into the etheric, just a little outside of the physical. The inhalation takes energy all the way up the whole skeletal structure, but outside of it, beyond it, the geometries. So you're focused on the geometries of the six-pointed star, the star tetrahedron, more than the skeleton. And exhale and just open and relax. I'm moving forward in and forward into the grids. breathing, relaxing into it. Keeping my attention really just on the etheric, on the subtle, on the spiritual. Now, because this could be a long time, and for your legs, feel free to adjust your body if you need to. And just for the sake of time and legs, we're going to reintegrate to the body. And we can spend a lot more time practicing all this. So bring your hands back to your hara if they aren't already. Maybe Maha Mudra, let your chin go down. Inhale below your navel. Soften the shoulders and start to reintegrate. Feel like you're coming back to the body. Hara, heart. When you're ready, very slowly stay sitting. Let your eyes very slowly open. You're sitting right here now, descending. Breathe into meditation number 1, descending energetic, descending. It's meditation 1, descending. Bring it all back here now, fully in your body. Integrate the etheric back into the physical. Feel your legs, feel your arms right here now. Fully grounded, fully open heart, fully open to spirit. Nothing really changed. We're fully aligned with all these grids. All of it's still there, but the eyes are open and you're right here now. And that's how we conclude a full round of practice. All right. I'm going to come back to the computer. It's open to Q&A. I understand it's difficult, but so are things like very advanced yoga practices, very advanced Tai Chi flows. They take years to develop. You shouldn't be like, oh, I can't do it. It takes years to be good at Tai Chi, years to be good at yoga, years to be good at Anahat meditation. But now you'll know all 24 of the basic meditations to get you through the system. All right. Okay, get some AC flow back in here. All right, how we doing, everyone? Did you survive that? Your legs still in one piece? All right, so give me some thoughts, feedback, question, answer, and then we did it. So congratulations, that's level 2. It's not easy. You don't have to do it all, but that is all of it. All of level 1, all of level 2. Yeah, so I don't see much typing, but I'll give you a moment here. And then, yeah, if you can't sit that long, you can do level 1. You could walk for 5 minutes or lie down for 5 minutes, and then sit up and practice level 2. You don't really have to practice level 1. You can just go right to level 2 if that's where you're spending a lot of time. But level 1 is really valuable, and you should never let it go because you're going to need to keep integrating into the physical. The more you learn to transition to the etheric, you can dwell there a lot. And if you keep dwelling there, you'll start having a body experience, especially when we intend to do so with level 3. But you're going to need to come back in, and you're going to want to be a fully functional human being. For level 3, we'll talk about how to not be a fully functional human being, how to kind of untether from the physical and take this whole etheric you and go. And you'll be glad you have the ability to come fully back in. In the 14th meditation, an image of a diamond dropped into my visual mind, and it was spinning. Okay, nice, yeah. So the tetrahedral fields do spin, and within the tetrahedral field, you're going to find the octahedron, which is like the diamond shape. So yeah, be open to that. The idea in some of the Merkaba teachings, which I've intentionally not gone into because anything I teach, I want them to be pure from this system, not really influenced by a system that I guess is close to this, but again, I don't take the time to research it intentionally. But the idea of the Merkaba fields is that they do spin, and they intentionally spin those. They leave their body, they fly in the Merkaba fields. Again, not my primary path, but the grids are the grids. Just like I have a body, they have a body, I have grids, they have grids, and they're using it by spinning them and technically traveling in them, which I guess we do, but I don't travel in the geometry grids. I don't see the grids when I'm out of my body, but I'm clearly out of my body and flying. You really don't need to take the grids with you while you're flying around, just like you don't need arms and legs out of your body. You don't need wings out of your body. You don't need the energy grids out of your body. And I think the Merkaba system there, spinning the grids and then at least visualizing flying inside of a star tetrahedron. But again, you don't have to be in that to fly. All right, great. Somebody said, difficult to put into words, amazing, overwhelmed with all of the love. Thank you so much for sharing all of this. You know, if you got it, if you feel like you got it, you understand. It's very complex, right? All the geometries. But realize while you're trying so hard to do it, it's like molding an ashtray. It's not about making the perfect ashtray. It's the practice that leads, it's the means that leads to the end. The end is love. There's not just love. There's lots of ways to feel love, right? It's integration, it's health, it's clearing your complexion, it's contemplating divine teachings, it's like everything we've been talking about. And it's so hard to take it all in because you are so amazing. Like everybody here, like we're all, every human being has these divine proportions and these grids and these geometries. They're all real. And it's just so hard to be aware of all of it at one time. It's the only system I've ever experienced that does it all in one meditation practice. So as you review all these teachings again, never underestimate all this is doing aside from what you're feeling now. So thank you. I felt more than my body and loved the expansion and the return to my body. The reminders to continue my focus on God were very helpful and purposeful. Beautiful, thank you. So again, it's like you could just meditate just on spirit. You could just do ascending meditation number 3 all day long, and you'd be focused only on God. But then you would start forgetting about your sexuality, or your need to make money, or your need to be nice to your family members. Right? It's like we're a 7 chakra being. And yeah, you want to focus only on spirit, but you can't do only that most of the time. And so even if you only did meditation 6, the 6-pointed star, over and over and over every day, you'd still be focusing on spirit, body, down to the heart, human, even embrace the sexual energy, back up, and you just keep circulating it. So yeah, it's always asking to focus on God, but it's asking to remember about your heart and your body and your body's health and moving energy through the meridians and keeping chakras open. Again, I don't know anything like it. That's why I have to teach it. Thank you. Somebody said, and in the 23rd, I felt a tremendous pressure in the left side of my neck, like thick energy was literally pushing through my neck. Good. So that's a whole nother benefit here. You're constantly moving energy through your meridians, so it's going to purify all your meridians. And there, you might feel itchy, you might feel spiders, all sorts of detoxifying feelings. But eventually, it's just, there's no words, but it's just so pure and so beautiful. And so it's actually really simple. It seems complex, but there's just a tetrahedron, and you're just made of these geometries. And you're just being with it. It's really simple, as intense as it could seem. So I said, thank you so much. I feel so grateful to be here. Thank you, me too, for sharing this. And, like right now, there's only, I know some of you are couples, but there's only 12 people right now. Some of the, live people are still doing it. I'll go through the recordings. There's only 12 people here right now. And actually, or 12 in the attendance list. The number 12 is pretty significant, and I'm going to say, in Anahats, we're looking at 12 meditations on 4 different levels, but really 2 major different levels. And the idea of the 12 is actually a really significant thing in Anahat practice. When Christ surrounded himself with 10 disciples, but the idea of being surrounded by 12 people, and there's more, but there's like an inner circle of people who know the teachings. And it's not a coincidence that there happen to be 12 people in the attendance list right now. So that's beautiful. All right, I really loved experiencing the geometry of myself. Really simple and peaceful. Thank you for saying simple, because I know it seems kind of hard. Your legs can hurt. It's a kind of long time to sit there. I didn't time it, but it's like close to an hour possibly. And yeah, it can be hard work, but it's so worth it. And spiritual practice, remember, is often called spiritual discipline. It means you get on the cushion, you do it even if it hurts. Um, you discipline yourself to do it. And yeah, there's benefits during it, but the benefits really are what are there while you're driving your car, while you're making love, or while you're chopping vegetables. It's meant to get off the cushion. This is just the practice you do on the cushion if you want to. Great. Somebody said, oh yes, I felt a thickness in my body which shifted too. And the otherworldliness feeling continues. Yeah, even though we come back to descending, we don't shut off the other levels. So remember, prayer is a 24/7 thing. Meditation, 24/7. Samadhi, eventually, 24/7. And the ability to leave your body means you don't have to be in your body 24/7. So yeah, it's going good. Thank you for everything, Matthew. You're very welcome. Thank you so much for all these gifts you share with us. Thank you. All right, beautiful. Thank you all. I will stop recording. That's the official initiation into level 2. Obviously not easy. It's a lifelong practice, but the benefits are worth it. I'll see everybody next week. We'll begin level 3 teachings. Those deal with cosmic consciousness and ascension, samadhi, out-of-body experiences, and advanced sexual energy teachings. I'm not sure what order will go. I'm going to keep that very open. So if you didn't get through this whole class, watch the videos over and over, and we'll just keep getting this stuff on video. So anybody wants to can train for the rest of their life with this stuff. Awesome. All right. Thank you all, and I look forward to next week as well. Good night, everybody. I'm still here if you want. I'm just going to stop recording.